Plenty of sunshine, clear blue skies, a little bit of a breeze to take the edge off of things, and temperatures expected to be in the upper 70s to lower 80s. You could not have ordered a better afternoon for high school playoff baseball. Welcome aboard, everybody. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as you are watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports. We are live. There you get a good look from the press box at Memorial Park in Archbold. It is a district final. The winner advances to next week and the regional semifinals. The loser packs their gear up and waits until next year. Scoop, we can sit here and break this one down a million ways from Sunday, and we're going to. We have our player profile from the backstop to the warning track, which is the second Rodenberger on the roster. We had Garrett a couple weeks ago. We've got Grant here this afternoon, but before we get to that, walk us through both these programs. They are tradition-rich. They know each other. As a matter of fact, Napoleon has spent some time on the Defiance coaching staff. These kids know each other, but at the same time, when the umpire yells play ball, all bets are off.
Well, you're right. When these two play, it doesn't matter if they're playing checkers. A lot of people are going to be in tune, and everybody's going to want to win. This is the 55th meeting between these two rivals, but maybe none bigger than this one today, where you have a district championship on the line.
And these two teams met earlier this season. The weather was not conducive to it. No surprise for any outdoor sport, but through the month of March and really the first couple weeks of April, if it was not raining, it didn't matter what else the weather was like. You got out onto the field. But Coach Weaver mentioned this during his post-game against Fostoria. He said, with good weather, we expect it to be a much different ball game.
Yeah, I think you're right. And both teams certainly playing with all kinds of confidence. Defiance has won 6 of their last 7. Napoleon's won 12 of their last 15. And those 3 losses in those last 15 games by Napoleon, 2 of them were 1-0 scores to very good teams. And also another one was a 4-2 loss to Northview, a third really good team. So these teams are well prepared, well coached. And as you mentioned, Brent, these two know each other so well. Head coach Eric Sprague and Rick Weaver coached together under Tommy Helder at Defiance for 6+ seasons, I'm sure.
Who is here today. I thought he might come over to get a headset, but no, he's just going to be a fan this afternoon. But how both teams got here, 2 very different ball games on Thursday night. Brian had control of the game, a couple of key base running mistakes, and a misplayed ball in center field. The sun got in the center fielder's eyes. He never got leather on it. It scored 2 runs, and in the end, Napoleon won in 8 by a run 7-6. On the flip side, against a good Maumee team, Brez Zippel was simply masterful. He shut them out. They won 2-0, and in usual Bulldog style this season, they got just enough offense to get the job done.
That's just incredible what Zippel was able to do. Defiance only had 3 hits as a team, and they were out hit 7-3, but Zippel just did a great job of not allowing Maumee to kind of string some hits together. And meanwhile, some very clutch hitting by Defiance. You know, that 2-out RBI from Cody Shaw, I thought certainly was really huge there. And again, we saw Defiance. They didn't have a lot of hits, but they had those 2-strike, 2-out hits. Those will win you ball games.
And they also played some spectacular defense, but we'll touch on that in just a couple of minutes. We have a player profile from the backstop to the warning track. It is Grant Rodenberger. He's a utility player, but he's valuable in so many different areas. We're going to break down his prep career and what it would mean to continue to wear the Bulldog jersey when we come back. Don't go anywhere. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. If you are watching this, that means Defiance is still playing in the postseason, which means this gentleman right here finally gets some face time. He's been hounding us all season long. Or no, wait a minute. Maybe we've been trying to track him down. Our people have finally talked to his people, and we've got him for our player profile. Grant Rodenberger, senior, ready to get after it. You ready to walk and talk?
I am.
All right, he is. He's locked in. He is right here. We're going to go from the backstop to the warning track and get to know another Defiance senior. All right, April was a grind. The weather didn't exactly cooperate. This is a question I asked Luke, your teammate, for your game on Thursday. Then all of a sudden, you finally get some decent ball playing weather, and it's very little practice, pretty much 90% games. Players usually like the games. Coaches like to mix in a practice here and there. How did you balance what really has been a really busy, last 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, well, you know, when we get all this rain, when we cancel games, we have the
You got the turf.
benefit of also going inside our facility, so we don't really miss a beat practicing. We get all our hitting done. We can throw in there too, so we just do it all inside. So when we cram games, it's not like we didn't really miss anything.
So let me ask you this from a personal standpoint. Your senior year, it is now basically funneling down to the playoffs. It's survive in advance, lose, pack up the gear until next year, or if you're a senior, it'll be the last time you wear a Defiance uniform. Everything tends to get a little sentimental. This is the last bus ride to this place we'll take. Last time I do this with my teammates. Have you been able to kind of keep that at arm's length, kind of keep it compartmentalized, and still focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, well, you know, having a great team like this, you never expect to lose, so you just play every game like a normal game, essentially.
And you've had a couple of games in between your first round, or technically it was the second round, though, of sectionals, but then you had Archibald and it was Whitmer on Monday. Is that better than just kind of being able to practice? Was it better to still stay in kind of game mode or game mindset?
Yeah, I mean, practice, we treat practice like a game. We do a bunch of game situations during practice. But being able to go play that game, like play against other people, not just your teammates, really helps you and prepares you for the next one.
Coming into your senior season, what was your role? What did the coaches tell you they wanted it to be?
When Coach Weaver brought me in this before the trip down to Florida, he said, I'll be rotated in with a great outfit like this. Mm-hmm. You know, you won't get as many starts as you would like, but being able to DH some of the season, getting pinch hits, pinch runs, you know, I've been doing what I've been
You do a
able to
lot of pinch running.
I do.
And you are 5 for 5, a perfect 1,000% in stolen bases. I know that this team is very aggressive on the base paths, but walk us through it. How do you time a pitcher up? Do you have to check in, or do you have the green light once you feel comfortable?
Everyone on the team's got the green light. Coach Weaver wants us to be aggressive at every time. Pitcher, lefties, we just go right away. First move we see, we take off.
So what's your mechanism? What's your timing mechanism before you feel you got a guy down?
You know, I just see usually in the dugout, it's easy. You just watch your moves, see what they do, and then
you count to yourself, though? Or you do anything mentally, quietly upstairs?
No, I just see the leg move and I go.
Okay. So sometimes we can overcomplicate this game. You're saying it's pretty simple then, right?
Yeah, I would say.
Who did you learn from?
Oh, that's tough. You know, I think Jacob Howard was a great base runner back when he was here, and just watching him run the bases, you could learn a lot from him.
Transition from Coach Held last season, retiring. Coach Weaver takes over. He's been basically an assistant for the entire time that Coach Held was here. I asked Luke this. I said, pretty seamless, and he said yes. But let me ask you this. What's the biggest similarity between Coach Weaver and Coach Held? Is there one?
Yeah, you can obviously tell a difference, but they coach the same way. Or I guess Coach Weaver being around him for 25 years, he's probably just become him at this point.
So are you saying a junior version of Coach Held, or just a similar mold? Okay. We're going to keep that in too. Coach Weaver will love this, I'm sure. What's the biggest similarity then? You said basically no real difference. Is there one similarity that really stands out to you?
I mean, I guess how they talk to the players. Coach Weaver can boost someone up as easy as anyone. Just talks good.
Okay. Just a good motivator?
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't seem like he raises his voice a lot, at least around me, or does he? Does he save that for certain times?
He's not really a yeller. I mean, there's not really much to yell at often, but yeah, I don't think he yells often.
Well, you guys take care of business, though. I watch. You guys hold each other accountable. Some teams don't have that. Some guys are afraid to be vocal because they don't want to come across as the bad guy, so to speak. But this group doesn't seem to have that issue, does it?
No, we got great leaders. I mean, even the juniors on the team, they'll lead the seniors sometimes if they have to.
You are a multi-sport athlete.
I am.
Matter of fact, when I first saw 2 Rodenbergers on the football stats that the coaching staff sent me, I said, did they double up? Did somebody have a miscue? And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, you got a sibling. Yeah. So I've asked Garrett. Matter of fact, he was our first Defiance baseball player profile. I'll ask you the same question. What's it like playing with your sibling on the same roster?
I mean, it's different than just playing with a normal teammate. Obviously, you can always go home and tell them you did better than them that day if you be mean. But yeah, no, I love it.
So there's a little sibling rivalry, competitive rivalry between the two of you. Now, I did ask him, you told me you haven't seen it. You can always go on YouTube and watch it.
I will.
But he is unaware of what Garrett's answer was. He said you two are basically supportive of each other, but he did admit, especially when you were younger, that the competitive juices in both of you maybe flowed a little bit.
Yeah,
is that fair?
Yeah, probably every day we were wrestled on the couch or something.
I won't give you his answer because I don't want it to unduly influence yours, but I understand there were maybe a few one-on-one beatdowns in the driveway with a basketball in hand. Is that correct?
Oh, probably. I think I threw a log at him one time.
What would preempt you to throw a log at your brother?
Oh, just makes me mad sometimes.
Head games?
Yeah.
Just trying to play a little ping pong in the noggin?
Probably.
All right, fair enough. You got very serious. You notice how you got very reserved. We'll get off of that here. You do celebrate with each other, though, when you do well, correct?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, fantastic. We'll draw the curtain charity on that one. Let's keep walking here. What were you working on from last year to this season to try and get better?
Just being a better outfielder, I guess. Last year I DH'd a lot, so I was pretty good at, hitting the ball, seeing different pitches. I just wanted to work on my outfield, get better reads, jumps, knowing where to play, throw the ball.
Just become a better overall baseball player?
Yeah.
Better IQ?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of IQ, student athlete is the term. Dumb jocks don't get to put the uniform on because they're not eligible. Mind sharing your GPA with us?
Last time I checked, it was a 3.4.
Okay, so pretty solid.
My senioritis has kicked in, so maybe have gone down.
You just wanted to chill your senior season, is that it? Are you involved in any other groups or clubs or activities outside of sports?
I'm part of Teen Pet.
What's
for the
that?
School, so it's a group that focuses around mental health throughout the school.
Okay.
They do a bunch of things to, promote good mental health, pick up in community.
What do you do to decompress or relax? Something away from sports?
I like to fish a lot.
Okay. With other people, or are you okay with being on a boat in the middle of the lake by yourself?
I can just chill by myself.
Okay. What do you go fishing for around here?
Bass.
Bass.
Big bass guy.
What's the biggest one you ever caught?
You don't get really too many big ones around here,
No.
so I think probably at 2.5.
Okay. Then what, you take it home, clean it, gut it, fry it up, or?
No, we just...
No. You release it?
back.
You catch
I
and
don't
release
like to
guy?
eat 'em.
Okay, all right.
More bluegill than bass.
Okay, all right. Bluegill's pretty good. It takes a lot more bluegill to fill up a pan than bass does. I used to do it a long time ago. People, when I tell them I used to hunt and fish, then of course I became a sportscaster. Basically your weekends are taken up. People still look at me and go, you used to hunt, you used to fish? Yes, I do. And I can tell you right now, a lot more bluegill than bass to fill up a frying pan. Let's talk a little bit about plans for after graduation.
I'm going to Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm going to major in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
That's about it.
So if I come back and do another interview with you in 10 years, 12 years, what's the dream job going to be for you?
Hopefully, stick along sports.
Okay.
I got subdivisions of mechanical engineering that work with designing a bunch of sports equipment and stuff. So hopefully being something like that.
So you'd like to mix engineering in with athletics in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
We see your name on the archway over a ballpark at some point in time?
Could.
Okay. There you go. He can come back and be a friend of Defiance High School, and we'll see his name plastered everywhere. We're not going to graduate you just yet, but goals for this year's team. I've talked with all the guys about it. Some programs, some coaches don't like guys talking or getting too far ahead of the here and now. Other coaches that I talk to will say, we do want to talk about it because I don't want to reach that point, and all of a sudden everybody's looking at each other going, we're here, what do we do now?
Yeah.
How do you guys handle it?
Coach Weaver always said that best team on the schedule is the one you play next. And I think I like that a lot because you can't get too far ahead of yourself, because if you do, you end up losing and you got nothing else to look forward to.
It's when an upset happens, right? All the respect in the world for Mommy, all the respect in the world for whoever's coming out of the top, whether it's Napoleon or Brian, you're going to get a top 3 seed. So is it kind of an us against the world attitude with Defiance right now?
Yeah, I guess. Just, I think we got a little looked down upon this year, losing Braden, David, and Hayden, 3 great players. Everyone was questioning what we would do to find or fill the holes for those spots, but I think we did a great job of bringing in the young guys, and especially seniors. Some seniors stepped up and took those roles over.
Luke talked about that during his player profile interview earlier this week. Is there maybe a little bit of a chip on this team's shoulder this year?
Yeah, I would say so.
Ride that all the way to Akron?
Hopefully. We've always, from the beginning of the season, we always said road to Canal Park, so I think that's our mentality.
There we go, and we are going to be with them as long as they are suiting up. Let's finish off the walk here. Our cameraman, Will, took almost a hard left. I thought we were going to end up in the parking lot. We're going to get to the warning track here. You ready to play rapid fire favorites?
I am.
You heard a few of these. Now you hear the tone in his voice. Now he's locking in. He's in beast mode right now. All right, let's start with kind of a trip down memory lane here, but your favorite moment, I won't say in a Defiance uniform, but how about this season, now that it's your senior year? Any one pop out at you?
Playing in Florida was fun. Being one of IMG's teams, you don't really get a chance to go beat IMG, and they're one of the top teams in Florida, so being able to beat them was pretty fun.
Okay. How about a favorite moment overall, from the first time you threw on a Defiance jersey to now? Anything
Probably
pop out?
Acme State Championship 2 years ago.
Okay.
Great team. We ruled in the championship. Was always fun. Just guess that was probably one of my favorites.
Okay. How about favorite pregame warm-up or ritual? Do you have anything that you do that gets you properly motivated?
Yeah, I always go to Kex and buy some pistachios. Those always seem to get me going.
Okay. You don't bring your own, or?
I don't know where to get them at. I get the unshelled version too, so I don't have to.
I didn't notice any piles over there. You have to clean up after yourself?
Yeah, Coach River yells at me when I do.
Okay, he came clean. At least he's being honest. How about favorite music or artist?
I'm a big AC/DC fan.
Really, a little old school.
Yeah, my dad always plays it in the truck.
So it's really dad.
Yeah.
Okay, Thunderstruck.
Yeah, Hell's Bells.
Okay, another good one. Absolutely, Trevor Hoffman. Let's see, favorite movie or TV show?
I'm a big Avengers guy.
Okay.
I also like Star Wars, so.
Oh wow! So man, you're talking opposite ends of the spectrum here. All right, he's eclectic. We're finding out more about him here. Favorite sports team?
Cincinnati Reds.
Okay, it's going south. You are the first person this far north in the state that I've heard. Everybody usually says Detroit, possibly Cleveland, obviously, but why a Reds fan?
My dad grew up watching them. He grew up watching the Big Red Machine. So
going back to the 70s.
Yeah.
All right, one of my best buddies, Terry Reynolds, the former director of international scouting for the Reds. I'm going to make sure he watches this just for that one segment. Terry, that answer was for you. How about favorite player?
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to guess maybe current with like Votto, but now that he's kind of on the way out.
He's my favorite current, yeah.
Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. All right, good enough. Favorite food?
Steak.
Steak.
Yep.
How do you like it cooked?
Medium.
Medium pink.
Yep.
What type of cut? Strip, ribeye, sirloin?
I would like sirloin, yeah.
Sirloin, good
But
lean cut.
You can always go expensive and get the prime rib.
Get the prime rib. Now, if somebody else is buying, he will order the prime rib. If he's taking you out, satisfy yourself with the sirloin.
Yeah.
All right. How about dream car? If somebody were to drive it up right now, what would it be?
I would say probably an old Mustang.
When you say old, like late
70s.
70s or 60s,
Yeah.
Punch a hole in the muffler, kind of a throaty V8,
Yeah.
good muscle car. All right, good enough. What advice would you have for future players? You are kind of a self-made guy. You've worked your way into the lineup. You play an important role. If there is a younger Grant Rodenberger out there who maybe isn't in the starting lineup, but just has watched you and the rest of your teammates and wants to get on that field, what advice would you have for him?
Take every advantage of every opportunity you have. That's your chance to show the coaches that you belong to, or you deserve to play, belong in the lineup.
So part of that is stay ready.
Yeah, stay ready.
The old phrase, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. this guy walks it and talks it. One last one for you, same question I ask all the player profiles. Legacy. Somebody comes back and talks about you, or I talk about you and ask, in 15, 20 years, how do you want to be remembered?
Just as a great person, you know, someone everyone likes to be around, talk to. That's pretty much it.
Just pretty low key.
Yep.
He's been chill with us from the backstop to the warning track. Grant Rodenberger, thanks for taking the walk with us. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick time out. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this on DCTV Sports.
The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. There you get a good look from our third base dugout. The Defiance Bulldogs, the #1 seed in this district, looking to advance to the regional semifinals, but in their way, a very game Napoleon Wildcats squad. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller, welcoming you back to Memorial Park in Archbold. It's time now for our Baker Schindler Company starting lineups. As the #1 seed, they will be the home team. Defiance will send this defense onto the field. On the bump, it will be Cody Shaw, the 6'1 junior. This is his first year pitching. He's normally been their starting catcher, but his numbers are spectacular. As I see Scoop breaking out the highlighter. Scoop, give us his line on the season.
Well, for Cody Shaw, the junior, this will be his 8th start. He's 6-1, has a 1.44 ERA. He's gone 43 2/3 innings, allowed just 33 hits. Opponents hitting just 177 off of Shaw. He's been lights out. We've seen him throw a couple shutouts right here on DCTV. And he's been lights out for a guy that's really spent his entire baseball career behind the dish.
Exactly. With that said, key for him today, he's got to be able to spot some secondary stuff. If you throw only a fastball, anybody can sit on it.
Well, you're exactly right. He does have that electric arm where he can throw it 90+ mile an hour, but he has to command that off-speed curveball, that changeup. When he does that, he's almost unhittable. But I think if you're Napoleon, you're going to force him to maybe throw those secondary pitches for strikes early on.
Behind the dish, it will be the senior Christian Connolly. He is almost the specialty catcher when Shaw's on the bump. From left to right on the infield, it goes junior. Logan Hutchinson at third. Brez Zippel, who was masterful on the bump Thursday night, back to his normal position at shortstop. Noah Gomez. I don't want to call him almost an anonymous voice in the choir, but he just is. He's just so solid. And then, of course, Khalil Ligon, a little bit more flash over at first. From left to right in the green, it goes senior, junior. Garrett Rodenberger, Brady Borton, and Cohen Stockman. The lineup for the Napoleon Wildcats. The Wildcats 29-1 overall. They were 8-6 in the Northern Lakes League. They'll send the following 9 to the plate. Trey Rubenstein, the center fielder, will lead things off. Rubenstein, again, a good hitter at .340. Devin Dietrich, the left fielder, will bat second. Parker Woods, your third baseman, hits in the 3-hole. Lucas Gherkin will bat cleanup. Gherkin only hitting .220 on the season, but he does have a little pop in the bat. He also has 16 RBI. Jacob Shadle will be on the bump. He'll hit in the 5-hole. Shadle, again, a good contact hitter, also hits for average, batting .333. Luke Hardy will be behind the plate. He'll bat 6th. Owen Espinoza, your shortstop, will bat 7th. Cal Bickle, the senior second baseman, hits in the 8-hole. And Blaine Ford will be your DH, batting 9th. Those are your Baker Schindler Company starting lineups as we are getting set for first pitch. Time now for our national anthem, brought to you by the Defiance Elks Lodge number 147. National anthem in the books, again, courtesy of the Defiance Elks Lodge, number 147. And the crowd showing up, a little bit of a later arriving crowd here with a noon first pitch. I'm looking back at both of the entrances here at Memorial Park. Napoleon down the third base line, Defiance down the first base line. Scoop, you were pointing. They brought their lawn chairs, their standing room only down that left field line. Defiance, no surprise, has traveled very well again here this afternoon.
Well, they always do. I love it. I see Defiance fans all the way down from the really home plate, all the way down to the right field foul pole just about. So always a good following, and, of course, Napoleon as well. And why not? You're going to see an instant classic here today. Defiance looking for its 21st district championship ever, their third in a row. Meanwhile, Napoleon looking for its first title since the 2011 season. I think both these teams have the confidence and feel they can get it done here today.
We were talking about, does Cody Shaw have command of a secondary pitch? He almost looks like he's exclusively working that curve. And Scoop, if his warm-ups from our center field camera vantage point are any indication, that thing looks like it's got some snap today.
It definitely does. And I think with the way the wind is blowing out here, I think it's going to help bite that curveball, and it will have a lot of run to it. Going to make it awfully tough for these hitters today. But on the flip side, the wind is blowing out. So if you can connect here, the ball will carry here at Archbowles Memorial Park.
That is not the biggest of ballparks. I wouldn't call it a bandbox, but at the same time, the dimensions are not what you'd call standard. I don't know if one of our camera guys can get the lines down the left or the right field line, zoom in on that 312 mark, but that is a relatively short porch down both the left and the right field lines. In the power alleys, 353, again about a good 10 feet short of what you'd normally have, but then as it flattens out in center field, a very short fence at just 365. There you take a look at it, short porches down both the right and the left field line, but Scoop, as you talked about it, that wind is really picked up. It is blowing straight out, and anything in the air is going to get a little extra help from Mother Nature today.
It definitely will. It definitely plays short in the power alleys, both to right center and left center. But again, we have outstanding pitcher, and here we see our F&M bank first pitch coming up from Cody Shaw as he tries to attack Trey Rubenstein.
Rubenstein digs in from the right side. He's hitting 340 on the season. First pitch is low, and we are underway. Winner advances to next week's regional semifinals. The loser packs it away for another season. This one chopped foul in the dirt. Your umpiring crew this afternoon, they go with three-men crew once you hit this deep into the playoffs. Melvin Daniels is the man behind the plate. He's got the call of balls and strikes. Larry Killen is over at first. As squaring to bunt, that one scoots out of the mitts of Christian Conley. I do believe he offered, yes. That is strike two. And making all the impartial calls at third is Dennis Coulter.
Well, that time Rubenstein trying to drag a bunt there, catch the Defiance defense napping, but he chased a pitch well out of zone. Now he's in a hole 1-2.
1-2. This one low, and it short hops Conley as he gets out of his crouch.
Now, good job by Conley. That's one of those pitches where Rubenstein almost offered, so if you let that get to the screen, it may end up being a strikeout wild pitch. Instead, the count even at 2-2.
2-2, tailing fastball, called strike three on the outside corner. Rubenstein looks back. He wasn't sure. That's a backwards K. That is a Premier Bank strikeout to open up the ball game.
I tell you what, for a guy that does not have a lot of pitching experience coming into this season, this guy knows how to pitch.
Yes.
That time, a good-looking fastball with glove side run that just catches that outside edge, and a quick punch out for Cody Shaw.
So with one away, that'll bring up Devin Dietrich. Dietrich, the left fielder, hitting 267 entering this afternoon's contest. Trying with, again, that glove side run. Cody Shaw a little upset with himself. He didn't quite spot it where he wanted to. Staying downstairs in the zone predominantly to Rubenstein, and now to open up things with Dietrich. Boy, elevated there and reached back. Swing and a miss. Cody Shaw's fastball is upwards of around 88, 89, but Scoop, when he humps it up, he can hit 92 miles an hour.
Yeah, I've seen it in each and every game he's thrown this year. He's been so effective. You know, we both had the opportunity to see him multiple times, and he just seems to continue to get better and better each time he's out there on the bump.
I've dropped his name to a couple of coaches in the Mid-American Conference. He is definitely a next-level player, as there's some of that arm side run. He's trying to nibble on that same spot that he got Rubenstein rung up on, but he misses there. It's now 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I've talked to a few of those MAC coaches as well. In fact, texted one this morning.
As this one, a high fly ball getting some help from Mother Nature. Rodenberger going back, and it's over his head. It will bounce in front of the warning track, and standing up into second base with a 1-out double, Devin Dietrich.
Great swing that time by Dietrich. He was sitting fastball in a fastball count. And again, he got a lot of help from that win, but I think that's kind of a mistake there by Defiance, because Defiance really knows this field. They know the ball is going to carry. I was really surprised
too shallow.
As high as that ball was in the air, they were not able to track that down. And again, Defiance plays our sport each and every year. Defiance came over this week and practiced here at Memorial Park. But again, credit to Dietrich that time. That ball was hit very well. And Napoleon now has something cooking as Parker Woods will step to the plate. He had a big double the other night in that Wildcat win over Bryan.
Very open stance as the inside move. Shaw steps off the rubber. Woods hitting .277, but he does have 14 RBI on the season. That's good for number 3 on this Wildcat roster. So this one floats upstairs. Shaw looks like he might be just a little amped up. Got to calm down, got to stay within yourself here. One and 0. Napoleon already knocking on the door with a double here in the top of the first. There's a good pitch. Low, nice job to get to his knees. Hutch looks the runner back. He is so underrated over at third, Scoop. He is, I don't want to call him an anonymous voice in the chorus, but I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
I totally agree. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked that young man up to, because he is a gold glover out there, and he does all the little things so well. That time made sure he got that big hop, did an excellent job of checking back Dietrich to second base. Boy, that's a huge play.
And you look at him there, I love the body language. He expected to make that play. There's nothing fancy about it. He's not pounding on his chest. He's like, let's go. Hit it to me again. So with 2 away, up steps Lucas Gherkin. Nice job to get out of his crouch by Conley and save that ball from going to the backstop.
I cannot believe Conley was able to keep that ball in front. That ball was heading to the backstop, had a lot of movement away from the hitter, but a great block there by Conley.
Gherkin hitting .220 on the season. Shaw trying to work his way out of a mild jam. This one's a shot deep in the hole at short. It gets through. Rodenberger coming up. They're going to wave the runner. The play at home. The throw sails way offline, and Napoleon breaks the scoreboard first, 1-0.
Clutch 2-out hit there by the senior Lucas Gherkin. Again, didn't try to do too much, just kind of rolled over that left side, but that was a perfect tweener that time between Logan Hutchinson and Brez Ziffel. And Napoleon strikes first here with a clutch 2-out hit by the senior Gherkin.
Again, we talked about how fast this infield is playing. We saw it on Thursday night, but you couldn't have thrown that ball any better if you were Lucas Gherkin, as that was right through the 5-5 hole, right in between shortstop and third base.
Yeah, you're right. This field is super hard. It almost plays like a parking lot. We talked about it this morning and the other night after these district semi games on Thursday, that they probably could have turned the sprinklers on Thursday night and turned them off this morning.
I agree.
It's that hard out there, but it'll play the same for both teams here today.
So here's Shadle digging in. Takes a bender on the inside corner for a strike. Well, Scoop, here's the thing, too. As fast as it's playing, I know it might be second nature to stay back if you're an infielder, but what we've seen time and time again is that second hop is very tricky on this infield. It's not just hard, it's also very fast. As a swing and a miss, bottom fell out of that pitch, 0-2.
Two really good-looking curveballs that time from Cody Shaw, and that one simply fooled Jacob Shadle.
Well, ahead in the count, we'll see what Shaw elects to do here. You elevate and ride the ladder with that blazing fastball. Do you bring another bender? Glove side run, called strike 3 on the outside corner. And you see Cody Shaw pumping his fist in the air as he gets out of a mild jam, but not before the Wildcats score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We have played through 1 half inning. Napoleon won. Defiance coming to the plate. You're watching DCTV Sports. There you get a good look at our grandstand camera. Fantastic complex here at Archibald Memorial Park, the host of the district finals. Napoleon putting across 1 run on a couple of hits in the top of the first, so Defiance will take their first cuts of the afternoon. Right there you see the tall, rangy right-hander, Jacob Shadle. Shadle, a senior, finishing his warm-ups. And Scoop, you've got the line on him there. If you can read that sun-drenched tablet screen of yours.
Well, for Jacob Shadle, this will be his 9th start of the season. He's gone 40 innings pitched. He has a 5-2 1-loss record. During those 40 innings, he surrendered just 29 hits, so he's been very effective, has 37 strikeouts, and has allowed just 13 walks, so a 3-to-1 strikeout-walk ratio. He's done an excellent job of getting hitters in negative counts and getting guys to hit his pitch. And right now, he takes the bump with a 1-0 lead.
Nothing like getting some early run support. Let's go ahead and set the defense for the Wildcats for you. It's an all-senior battery. Luke Hardy is behind the plate. From left to right on the infield, it goes junior, 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 senior. Parker Woods at third, Owen Espinoza at short, Cal Bickle at second, Lucas Gherkin at first. From left to right in the green, a senior and then a pair of juniors, Devin Dietrich, Trey Rubenstein, and Eric Hirschberger. As Torrin Long will dig in, taking a first pitch ball. Torrin Long hitting an even 300 entering today's game as he takes well above the visor. Two balls and no strikes. Long refusing to leave the box as there's a sweeping fastball with some good glove side runs, strike 1.
Yeah, excellent 2-0 pitch. You don't want to kind of just groove one down the middle. That time had plenty of movement to it, catches the outside edge.
This one, oh my goodness, the outer third. And I don't know that you can do anything if you're Long except pound that ball into the dirt. So yeah, now 2 strikes.
I think you had to hold 2-1, but now you got to protect here with 2 strikes.
That one upstairs, ball 3.
Well, that was that big sweeping curveball that had started up at the eyes, ended up near the waist, but just misses upstairs in the zone.
Payoff pitch popped up. Is the Park going to hold it? It will not.
Well, this is a great at-bat here to start things out by Defiance. You've already seen 6 pitches. You've seen a little bit of everything in the arsenal of Jacob Shadle.
Torrin Long digging in, looking for something on the 3-2 pitch. Sends this one a shot into the left center field gap. It's going to carry, and it gets past Dietrich and rolls to the wall. Long rounding first. He will stand up into second with a leadoff double.
What a great at-bat by the senior Torrin Long on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. He's able to lace one out there in the gap. That was a rope there that got to the fence in a hurry. And a stand-up double by the senior Long. Defiance right now trying to answer that run that they gave up in the top half of this inning.
Nothing like getting your leadoff man aboard. You can do so many more things, not just aboard, but in scoring position. Torrin Long will play somewhere. If you watched our player profile with him last week, he's still kind of college hunting. I think he might be looking JUCO. I think he also mentioned, was it Lincoln View? that has been a very popular program for a lot of Western Ohio youngsters.
Yeah, Lincoln Trail in Illinois, they've had
Trail.
so many players here from the 419 area, and many out of Defiance High School alone.
Digging in from the left side, Cohen Stockman pushes a bunt up the third base line. This is a beauty. Woods up with it, the throw, and is it in time? They just do get him by half a step. Bang, bang play, but the sacrifice does the job as Torrin Long now standing at third with less than 2 outs.
And we saw some amazing plays right there. The first one, the incredible bunt there by Cohen Stockman right down the third base line, but what a play by Parker Woods.
Incredible.
That was a base hit all the way, but a fine play there on the move. But Defiance does execute the sacrifice. And now we're going to see Garrett Rodenberger here trying to drive home their first run.
As he takes upstairs for ball one, Rodenberger entering this afternoon's contest, hitting .277 with 11 RBI. Number 12 would tie this ball game up.
He also leads the team with 3 sac flies.
Just put the ball in play here as he takes a sweeper on the inside corner for strike one.
Well, that's a good-looking bender that time from Shadle. You know, a lot of times you're afraid to throw that inside to right-handed hitter, but he did just that and really hit a spot.
This one swung on over the top of it, foul tipped back into the mitt. It's 1-2. Rodenberger with a runner at third scoop and less than 2 outs. How about this? 7 for 11 this season. 636 his average.
Well, a hit would be great, but right now he just needs to be situational. Hit something hard up the middle, get something you can lift to the outfield to drive home your game's first run.
The 1-2 misses outside. 2-2.
Good job by Shadle. Trying to expand the zone there a little bit. Fastball, couple inches off the plate there. Good hold there by Rodenberger.
The 2-2. Shadle from the stretch. Misses outside. The count now full.
And Napoleon does have their corners in, but middle infield playing back, going to concede a run here for a ground ball.
Payoff pitch. You can see that wind whipping our center field camera. Shadle sets, deals. This one fisted and fouled back.
Well, that's that curveball we saw earlier in this at bat, was started out to right at Rodenberger, breaks across that inside edge, and a great job just fighting it off there by the senior Rodenberger. Payoff pitch coming up once again.
3-2 on the way again. Shadle checks the runner at third, comes home. Got him swinging, strike 3.
Oh, good looking fastball that time from Shadle. Looked like Rodenberger was maybe looking for the curveball, but that's going to be a Premier Bank strikeout. And wow, what a good time for that, as Shadle now just 1 out away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
So up steps Noah Gomez, the team's leader as far as batting average is concerned, hitting .328, 14 RBI on the season. The equalizer just 90 feet away as he takes downstairs.
Remember, Gomez has good speed, so anything on the ground to that left side, not going to have a lot of time to fool around with to get that throw to first base.
The 1-0, Shadle deals, misses high and inside, ball 2.
Well, right now, the impressive thing about this curveball from Shadle, he's been moving it around. We've seen it north and south. We've seen it inside, outside. He's not afraid to throw it to any count in any spot, but right now, Gomez in a hitter's count at 2-0.
Coach Sprague had talked about it. It's effective when he gets some depth on it. And this one short hops the catcher. He said he's really worked on it, as probably most young prep pitchers do. To call it a true curve, that true 12-6 takes a lot of work. More often you see kind of a hybrid, that slurve or 11-7. Not to say that that pitch can't be effective. But right now he's gone 3-0 to Gomez. We'll see if Gomez has the green light. Taken all the way. Get me over fastball, strike 1.
And again, nothing wrong with that take right there. You're still up 3-1. You still can swing at your strike, not just any strike.
See where Gomez wants this one. If he gets something to work with, it's inside. Did that hit him? It squirted out of the mitt of Luke Hardy. Either way, trotting down to first base, Noah Gomez.
Yeah, I think that did clip him there on the elbow. But you're right, either way, you have runners on the corners now, 2 outs. We'll see how aggressive Defiance wants to be with Gomez at first base. Gomez 10 for 11 on the season in the stolen base department.
You know who's number 1?
This young man right here, stepping to the plate.
He is perfect on this season. Brady Borton. Again, you can't steal first, but the reason we bring that up is blazing speed in the box right now.
Well, remember in the 6-county area, he's number 1 in the stolen base department.
Ooh, boy, he took a long swing there and comes up empty for strike 1.
Well, there's that bender that Coach Sprague was talking about. It had a lot of depth to it. And again, it's a tough pitch to time up when it has that much run to it.
Brady Borton hitting .288 on the season. Offers again and fouls it straight back, and now he'll have to be protecting down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Right now, interested to see if Coach Rick Weaver wants to send Gomez, put a little pressure in this Napoleon defense. Luke Hardy, a proven catcher for Napoleon. He's been behind the backstop for the Wildcats for a long time.
Gomez with a decent lead at first, and time being asked for by Brady Borton. Well, in an 0-2 count, you would expect some type of breaking pitch, correct? So if you are going to send him, this would be the count to do it, or do you risk it?
Well, you also have the possibility, you're up 0-2, you have the ability to pitch out, but there's that bender.
Oh, and it froze Borton. Unbelievable. Another Premier Bank strikeout, and a talk about a wasted opportunity for Defiance. The leadoff double by Torin Long. They get him all the way to third, but Jacob Shadle strikes out 2 of the 3 Bulldog hitters he faces, and he leaves runners at the corners. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left aboard, 1 in the books. Napoleon 1, Defiance nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports. Defiance threatened in the bottom of the first. As a matter of fact, they had a runner at third with less than 2 outs, but Jacob Shadle bowed his neck, struck out 2 of the 3 Bulldogs that he faced, so we head to the top of the second. Napoleon 1, Defiance nothing. Back on the bump, his counterpart Cody Shaw facing Luke Hardy. First pitch swinging, fly ball into right field. Cohen Stockman hauls it in. That's a quick out to open up the Napoleon second.
Just what Cody Shaw needs right there. 1 pitch, 1 out. And, of course, Napoleon, if you're the Wildcats, you love having a lead. You know there's no such thing as a safe lead against Defiance. So your job right now is to try to go out and win another inning.
Owen Espinoza, shortstop, will dig in from the right side. Espinoza hitting .326 out of the 7-hole.
Yeah, he also leads the team in doubles with 6.
Stands deep in the box. Righty-righty matchup. Shaw with some of that glove side run. Boy, if he can make a living there. Actually, if either pitcher can make a living there, as we're seeing home plate umpire Melvin Daniels, he's giving that outside corner. That's going to be tough sledding for hitters this afternoon. So it misses downstairs, ball 2.
You know, and typically at the high school level, you see that being called a strike. You know, they'll give you that river, you know, between the edge of the plate and the edge of the batter's box. And both pitchers do a nice job of going there.
Well, he busts him inside here. Espinoza raises his arms up and out of the way, and it's now 3 balls and a strike.
Well, this is where Shaw got hurt in the first inning, where he fell behind Devin Dietrich, 3-1. Dietrich was sitting fastball, was able to lace that double to the gap.
Check swing, and he holds up, ball 4. So Napoleon keeping the pressure on with a 1-out walk by Owen Espinoza. That'll bring up the second baseman, Cal Bickle.
Next up, number 1, Cal Bickle.
Bickle hitting just 200 on the season. 15 hits, 1 home run, the rest singles.
And that home run is the only home run of the season for Napoleon.
Yep. We'll see if they play a little small ball with 1 away. That's probably not what you want to do with the 9-hole standing in the on-deck circle, but you were talking about it during the pregame scoop. Both teams going to have to manufacture offense this afternoon. He's swinging away and fouls it straight back.
Well, you're right. And remember, Napoleon leads the area as far as sack bunts. They had 2 the other night in that 7-6 win against Bryan. They have 27 on the season. But I agree, Brent. I think this is a swing away situation with the fact that 9 hitters on deck, you have 1 out.
And a 1-run lead. Let your players play. The 0-1, short hops Conley. The runner goes on the dirt ball read. The throw down to second. Squirts away from Zippel. Nice job by Gomez to back it up. But again, being aggressive on the base paths as Espinoza picks up an extra 90 feet on the wild pitch. Big insurance run now in scoring position, still with less than 2 away. This is where if you're Cody Shaw, bear down and get the hitter. You got a 200 batter stepping in there. Bring your best. Shaw working out of the stretch. Swing and a miss. That was a good-looking pitch.
Well, that was. Looked like a fastball, but had good movement to it, kind of like a cutter a little bit.
It really
but
did.
Again, great pitch there. Now he's got him in a hole 1 and 2. See if he goes to that outside edge here with the fastball once again.
The 1-2. Good look from our center field camera. Shaw deals. Instead, he brings a bender, and it gets dirty. All right, you had a pitch to waste there. Now do you anticipate him coming back with the fastball here?
I do. And not surprised by that curveball at all. He's had success with that. That's a pitch that's tough to time. Right now, I think he's going to try to rear back and fire, see if he can slip one past the junior.
See the grip on the baseball there. Elevated, popped up. Left field, Rodenberger squeezes, and that's a big second out for Defiance.
That really was. Great job by Shaw. Good location on that fastball at the top of the zone. Too close to be looking at. Not much you can do with it. Hard time catching up to a 90-mile-an-hour pitch there. A big second out for the Bulldogs.
That'll bring up the 9-hole. DH, Blaine Ford.
What a night Ford had on Thursday night. 3 for 3. Reached base all 4 times as he was hit by a pitch the 4th time up.
Ford brings some offense from the bottom of the order, hitting 300. He's got 16 RBI. Long deals, and again in the dirt. Conley can't keep it in front of him. Second wild pitch of the inning, and now a huge insurance run just 90 feet away.
You're right, and I think if you're Ford, I think right now you sit fastball because we've seen a couple curveballs get away here in this second inning. And right now, you don't want to mess around.
1-0 upstairs, ball 2. And again, if you're Cody Shaw, I don't want to say is the game moving a little fast right now, but he's aware, as is everybody, what's on the line here. Where it's tough, just take a deep breath, let some of that tension out of your shoulders. And I know it sounds easier said than done, but just pitch.
You're right. You got a lot of baseball ahead. Trust your stuff. It's been good all year. Your defense has been one of the best in the WBL all season as well. There's a fastball. He tries to amp it up and a little bit upstairs. So once again, a 3-ball count. These 3-ball counts have hurt Shaw here today.
3-1 on the way. Strike on the inside corner.
And I'm not sure Blaine Ford agreed with that call as he was expecting to be trotting down to first base, but it looked like a quality pitch. It just got the black there in the inside corner.
Payoff pitch on the way from Shaw. Swung on, fouled straight back.
Oh, that time Ford did not get cheated.
No.
He was not shortening up there in the 3-2 approach. He was really swinging for the downs. Interested to see what Shaw throws here, see if he's going to challenge him with a fastball.
His fastball's been effective upstairs. Whoa, that brushes him back off the plate, and wow, Ford slams his bat into the dirt. That clearly was not intentional, but There's just a little edge, it seems like, right now here at Memorial Park.
Yeah, it seemed kind of odd there. He threw his bat, then he kind of gave a look there at Cody Shaw. I think the last thing Shaw wanted to do was put the number 9 hitter on base and get to Trey Rubenstein.
Rubenstein struck out looking to lead off the ball game. How about this? Second inning, second at bat. Napoleon has kept the line moving here this afternoon. The runners at the corners. 1-0 our score. Napoleon enjoys the lead, but they are threatening here with 2 down in the top of the second. Shaw will step off. And if you're Shaw, a ground ball gets you out of the inning here. Just bear down.
Yeah, right now, just execute a pitch. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Shaw from the stretch. Downstairs, it's a wild pitch to the backstop. There could be a play at the plate. Conley cannot field it cleanly. And the 3rd wild pitch of the inning brings home the 2nd Napoleon run. It's now 2-0 Wildcats.
Yeah, the freebies will always hurt you, and this is the case here in the 2nd inning. This inning started with the freebie, the walk, but then we had wild pitch, and wild pitch. And Napoleon here, without getting a base hit, has scored another run. And now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position and one of your top hitters up, why not be greedy? Try to put up a crooked number here with another clutch 2-out hit.
You got another runner now in scoring position. Shaw just trying to relax and slow the game down. There is arguably his best pitch of the afternoon. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's lost his command here a little bit. Maybe trying to do a little bit too much here. And again, I think he just has to trust his stuff. It's been that good all season. We've seen it time and time again.
It's Rubenstein. I thought he was cramping up for a second. Coach Sprague coming out, and they're going to bring him some Gatorade, but yep.
He was cramping. I saw him pull up on his toes there, trying to put some pressure on that muscle there to get that cramp to go away. Now they give him a swig of
whatever's in that Gatorade jar.
Who knows, Gatorade water, but if you know Rubenstein, he's still going to get a quality at bat right here in a tough spot.
Apparently he must have worked it out with that quick stretch because he's not walking it off. He's not stretching. He's basically just stepping back into the box. So 1-1. Shaw rubbing the ball on his pant leg. Looking back, checking the runner. Ford's got a decent lead at second. It is a deep lead. This one, a chopper deep in the hole. And Brez Zippel will keep it on the infield. Now Hutchison cut over, and that was interesting because Ford rounded third, and he was looking potentially to make a throw, but Hutch was way off the bag. It will go as an infield single, but Napoleon keeping the pressure on.
Great job by Rubenstein. Nothing fancy, but putting the ball in play, and what a great play that time from Brez Zippel. A lot of high school shortstops try to do the impossible, throw that ball across the infield. Ends up being a wild throw, allowing another run. But right now, Napoleon here with Rubenstein on first. We'll see if they want to be aggressive here and try to get him in scoring position with 2 outs.
Dietrich digs in. He's 1 for 1, scored the first run of the ball game. This one misses low and away. And Coach Weaver asking for time. He's going to go out and have a chat with Cody Shaw.
And I look for Napoleon with Rubenstein on first base. I know you don't want to take the bat out of Devin Dietrich's hands, who had that double, came around, scoring the first inning. But I also think you've got the #1 catcher on the bump right now for Defiance. Do you try to get 2 guys in scoring position, thinking that Defiance may not make a throw?
I don't know if you noticed Cody Shaw's reaction when Coach Weaver came out. Look at him right now. He's loving him up. Shaw took a massive sigh, just trying to release his shoulders. Look, it happens. You know what's on the line here, especially with this being his first year pitching. Somehow, some way, you've got to find that mental process to slow the game down. We've seen Cody Shaw, when he is in command, there's none better. But right now, he's fighting himself a little bit.
Well, you're exactly right. In the game of baseball, things can turn on a pitch. So right now, you're just hoping he'll settle down and get back to his normal stuff. I thought that was a great visit there by Coach Rick Weaver, understanding what's going on.
Good glove side run, but just a bit off the mark. Ball 2.
Well, that was one of the better fastballs from Shaw today. Just a little bit off the plate, though. But again, it's got plenty of velo to it. Good arm side run.
From the belt, the 2-0. Busts him inside. And again, the reaction there, Scoop, as he looks skyward. What I'd like him to do is slow down physically. Just step off the rubber and take your time. You dictate the pace out there as the pitch.
Well, that was a prime example. You saw the reaction from Shaw when he didn't hit his spot. And to me, you don't hit your spot, now your focus is the next pitch, not that last one. And that's where he has to turn things.
This is upstairs, ball 4, and they are loaded for the 3-hole Parker Woods.
And remember, Parker Woods had that big double the other night against Bryan in that 7-6 Wildcat win, and now you have no place to put the number 3 hitter.
So Shaw, he did step toward the back of the mound there. He's fiddling with the rubber a little bit. He's taking a bit more time, and now he will step off, and there is some stirrings about to happen in the Defiance bullpen. I don't know if our camera work can get a shot of it. I believe that's Luke Webb. Going down with a couple of bullpen catchers. First pitch, this is low and away. Now he's just begun playing long toss right now, so he is nowhere near ready. And right now, if you are Cody Shaw, just one more out gets you out of this with minimal damage done. With a 1-0 count, there's nowhere to put him. This one, a chopper. Oh, terrible hop. It goes over Brez Zippel into left field. It's going to score a couple. Oh my goodness, what looked to be a routine ground ball put out takes a nasty second hop, and Napoleon keeps the line moving.
That's a tough break for Defiance because Shaw made an excellent pitch, and that's about as routine ground ball as you're going to get. But as we've mentioned, we saw this Thursday night here, Brent. There's no true hops here on this field. It's so hard, it's playing like a parking lot. And that took one of those Super Bowl bounces that we saw on Thursday night time and time again. But it comes at an ill-opportune time for Defiance, but a great time for Napoleon, as they've now put up a crooked number, and they have a 4-0 advantage and still looking to be greedy here, trying to tack on a few more with another clutch 2-out hit.
4-0. We would not have anticipated this much between both teams through in a complete ball game. And right now, Shaw, what would you tell him right now, Scoop? Because stuff is low. He is short hopping the plate, and I don't just mean by a foot or two. I mean significantly here. Is it a release point? Is it a mechanical issue? What would you do if you went out to talk to him?
Well, you got to settle his mind right now because, again, he's really too amped up, trying to do a little bit too much. You don't want to go out there and tell him a half dozen things to do. You really want to kind of tell him one thing, but the word is kind of relax. You know, trust your teammates here.
So 2-0. Gherkin 1 for 1 with a single. Makes it 3 balls and no strikes.
And again, we talked about it. You know, the only pitch that hurt him in that first inning was that 3-ball pitch he had on Dietrich. But then he got into a 3-ball count with Espinoza with 1 out here in this inning, lost him on a walk. And since then, we've had many 3-ball counts.
There's a strike.
There's that get-me-over fastball and a good hold that time from Gherkin. But right now, Gherkin's sitting dead red looking for a fastball in his nitro zone. Trying to give the Wildcats a little separation here in the second inning.
Oh, they've got too much for Defiance's taste right now at 4-0. There's a strike with some good glove side run, and hopefully that's an omen of things to come if you're Cody Shaw. Likewise, if you're Lucas Gherkin. Now you expand the zone a little bit with 2 strikes, right?
Well, yeah, you have to, but now this is huge because Napoleon will have both runners in motion here on the pitch.
Payoff pitch on the way. This one laced foul down the left field line. He was well out in front of it.
Yeah, this has been another great at-bat here by Napoleon. This will be the 7th pitch of the AB coming up. And Shaw has really labored here in this second inning.
Payoff pitch on the way. Shaw deals, popped him up, foul territory. Ligon on his horse, he cannot get there. So we'll do it again.
Yeah, back-to-back, very competitive pitches from Shaw. Unfortunately for Defiance, that ball not popped up near high enough. Just no chance for any Bulldog to make a play. So now we have the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up to the senior.
Shaw just trying to stay around the plate, see what he can get done. Gherkin trying to protect with 2 strikes, see if he can get something to work with. Payoff pitch on the way, runners go. This one a ground ball. Zipfel's got it. Long throw across the diamond. They wish they had that one batter earlier. Scored 6-3 to end the top of the second, but not before a crooked number gets put up by Napoleon. 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We will head to the bottom of the second. Wildcats 4, Bulldogs nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports. You get a good look at the scoreboard and the top of the second, a big crooked number. All of a sudden, a 1-0 lead turns into a 4-0 lead as we welcome you back to Memorial Park in Archbold. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoot Miller. Jacob Shadle, he took the bump for the first time in this game with a lead. He takes it for the second time with a considerably bigger lead, as he will deal to 6, 7, and 8 for Defiance. Christian Conley, Brez Zippel, and Khalil Liggett. Rick Weaver was having an extended conversation with home plate umpire Melvin Daniels as he's walking slowly down to the third base coaching box. A lot of ball left to be played here, Scoop, but again, one of those situations you give a quality opponent an opening or an opportunity, and 90% of the time they're going to jump all over it, and that's exactly what Napoleon did in the top half of this frame.
Yeah, credit Napoleon. Didn't do a lot there, but what they did, they took advantage of every free gift they got. They had 3 walks, 3 wild pitches. But what I liked about Napoleon there, quality at bats. We saw several 6, 7, 8 pitch at bats. They did not strike out in that second inning. They put the ball in play. They got that nice kind of nasty bounce there for one of their 2 hits, but they made the most out of it. And now Napoleon needs that shutdown inning to keep Defiance off the board here and try to maybe get some doubt to start creeping into Defiance's mind.
Christian Conley takes a 1-0 pitch for a called first strike. Conley has been used, I wouldn't say sparingly, but he's the backup catcher, obviously the starting catcher when Shaw is on the bump. 250, checks his swing. He followed that one to the outer third, ball 2.
Yeah, great job tracking all the way in. That was a tough pitch there, just missed there off the outside edge.
See if he gets something to work with here from Shadle upstairs. Now remember, Defiance had a mild threat of their own just an inning ago. The leadoff double by Long. They advanced him to third with less than 2 outs. They left 2 stranded. Let's see what they can get done here as he couldn't lay off this pitch up around the letters. Fouls it away and the count now full.
Yeah, I think what's changed now is the fact that for Defiance, when you're trailing 4-0, you're no longer really playing for that run. You're looking for the big inning right now, especially early in the ball game.
Payoff pitch. This one off the end of the bat. He slips coming out of the box. Will it get down? It will not. Whoa, yes it. Wait a minute, he flipped the ball to his center fielder. Hirschberger was big timing it a bit. When I thought I saw him come down with it, then all of a sudden I saw it midair, and no, he's just having a little fun out in right field, 1 away.
Yeah, nice job by Hirschberger. He had to go a long way. That ball was hit up in the air enough. He had a chance to track it down. And a big first out for Napoleon trying to get that shutdown inning.
So here's Brez Zippel digging in from the right side, starting shortstop. Was the pitcher of record on Thursday as he takes a big sweeping frisbee for a called first strike.
Remember, that's how Napoleon started off the top half of the frame. They scored 3 runs with a fly out to right field.
Hitting .323, fouls this one away, and he's down deep in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes.
Great job by Shadle. You know, anytime you have a lead, you don't want to fall behind hitters, get into the 3-ball counts. He comes out attacking, challenging these Defiance hitters.
The 0-2, this one misses way upstairs. Outfield, for the most part, I would say standard depth. Pretty much straight away. Of course, the lone exception being Dietrich in left. Looks like he's playing a little deeper than usual. This one crushed deep to left field. Still going back. Dietrich looking up and makes a running catch. Just as I was talking about how they were playing the park, that is playing the elements, and Dietrich took away what probably would have normally been an extra base hit.
That's a great play there by Devin Dietrich, and that ball was hit hard, hit deep, just near the warning track. But what Dietrich did so well, a lot of guys, when the ball's hit straight over their head, they'll drift backwards. He turned, sprinted, was able to cover a lot of distance. And wow, what a huge out there for Napoleon. Trying to retire the Bulldogs in order here in the second inning.
So here's Ligon digging in, takes low and away, ball one. Khalil hitting 267. Somewhat of a closed stance. Right on top of the plate. Whoa, little chin music as he leans back. Got the count up to where he needs it at 2-0. We've seen Shadle fall behind several Defiance hitters, but he always battles back. This one misses upstairs, ball 3. Now Cody Shaw standing in the on-deck circle. Ligon trying to get a little 2-out rally going. Let's see if he has the green light here on the 3-0. Doesn't need to. Ball 4. 4 straight out of the zone, and the Bulldogs have their third base runner of the ball game.
Now the first walk issued by Jacob Shadle today, but Defiance will take it. Again, being early, they just love to get something on the board here with 2 outs, find a way to scratch across a run, get some momentum on your side of the diamond.
Cody Shaw will dig in from the right side, trying to help out his own cause. Shaw hitting an even 300. Takes a first pitch sweeper for a strike. Shaw right back into the box, trying to lock in. This one ripped into left field, coming on, laying out, and did he come up with the ball? Dietrich with another diving catch. The Napoleon left fielder flashing some fancy leather. He's taken away 2 would-be Bulldog hits here, and he brings an end to the bottom of the second on a tremendous diving catch. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. 2 are in the books. Napoleon 4, Defiance nothing. We're back after this on DCTV Sports. Top of the third, we welcome you back to Memorial Park in Archbold. It is a district final. Winner advances to next week's regional semifinals at Carter Park in Bowling Green. Loser will have to buy a ticket if they want to get in. 5, 6, and 7, Shadle, Hardy, and Espinoza set to take their second cuts of the afternoon against Defiance starter Cody Shaw. Shaw, deep breath. A couple of his teammates came up to the bump. Try and cheer him up as he gets started. Ground ball to short, Zipfel. Long throw. Well, you can't start more effectively than that, can you? 1 pitch, 1 out.
I like that, and Shaw needs to realize that he doesn't have to go out there and strike every guy out. You know, sometimes when you can throw 90 plus, you have that tendency to want to do that. trust your defense, get guys to hit your pitch. Fantastic start after throwing 30-plus pitches in that second inning.
So that'll bring up the catcher, Luke Hardy. Hardy 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. Shaw deals. That was well out of the strike zone, but again, when you elevate with that, I would say probably what, 8 out of 10 high school pitchers don't throw it hard enough. That's going to be a mistake. Cody Shaw does throw it hard enough. You're going to be lucky to catch up with it. Check swing, and then he follows up with that. They appeal, whoa, and they say he did not go. 1-1.
Yeah, looked like Hardy got a break that time. He was fooled on that bender from Shaw. But on the appeal, they say no.
This one, a shot back up the middle, off the mound. Zippel throws off his back foot. Got him. Know your runner, right? You got a big lumbering catcher who's muscling his way down the first base line, and you saw Brez Zippel give him a look out of the corner of his eye. He just makes the most, he makes everything look easy when it's not.
Well, you and I have seen a lot of high school baseball games this spring, Brent, and I think we both would agree he's probably the best defensive shortstop, bar none, that we've seen.
Without question.
And again, great play. He knew the speed of the runner, but that's a tough break for Luke Hardy because he hit that ball hard, but he hit just enough of the mound that it slowed it down. And that's a big second out for Shaw, trying to maybe get his confidence back as he retires the first 2 hitters from the point in this third inning.
Coach Sprague had a extended conversation with Owen Espinoza as he digs in. Boy, I like the body language all of a sudden here from Cody Shaw. Now he's towing up and he's ready to go, but when you find in the strike zone, why not? Espinoza drew a walk last inning. This one a chopper. Oh no! Again, was that an interesting hop, or did the turf give way underneath Logan Hutchinson's spikes?
No, that was a bad hop. That ball took a 45-degree turn once it hit something down there. That was going to be a can of corn there, routine play for Logan Hutchinson. Instead, another bad hop single here for the Wildcats.
There's nothing Hutch could have done about that. And the line keeps moving. Instead of a 1-2-3 inning, up steps Cal Bickle.
Now, if you're Shaw, you can't let that really bother you. I thought that was a great pitch by Shaw. You know, he was able to force Espinoza to hit his pitch. When you do that, you're not going to find a lot of real estate out there. You're not going to really up your batting average numbers.
This one a chopper down the third base line, definitely foul. Bickle 0 for 1 on the afternoon with a fly out to left. Well, Napoleon has put up some offense in each of the first 2 innings. Shaw trying to keep him off the board here, already down 4-0. This one short hops Conley and to the backstop. That'll be the 4th wild pitch of the afternoon. And an extra 90 feet for Espinoza.
It seems like Shaw has really struggled against the tail end of this Wildcat order. Remember back in that second inning, he walked the 7-hitter and the 9-hitter. And now he throws a wild pitch that is able to move Espinoza into scoring position with 2 outs. So right now, Napoleon would love to add a dagger here with a 2-out hit.
Fastball with some good glove side runs, strike 2.
Great pitch again by Shaw. That fastball that he paints on that outside edge.
Shaw from the belt. Comes home, brings a bender, and nice job by Conley to try and frame that up. Off the outer third, 2-2.
That's a great miss. That was that nice 12-6 hammer from Shaw that started out on the outer third, but ended up maybe 4 inches off the plate, but a quality miss.
Got a good look at Espinoza taking a running lead as a swing and a miss. That is a Premier Bank strikeout on a nasty curveball. Bickle goes down swinging and no damage done by Napoleon here in the top of the third. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. Defiance looking for some offense. They trail Napoleon by 4. You're watching the district championships on DCTV Sports. Bottom of the third. 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Napoleon. No runs on 1 hit, no errors for Defiance. Brent Balbinot, Scoop Miller. Division II District Championship game live from Memorial Park in Archbold. It's Napoleon trying to take care of arch rival Defiance. Defiance trying to get some offense going here. And right there, he has been continuing to stretch. And if one of our cameras can zoom in on him a little bit, but Jacob Shadle has been stretching the entire time he's been warming up. Scoop, he's been having some problems. Now that would be basically his plant foot, but he is cramping up, and right there you can see it's affecting him. He has not been able to work that cramp out, and we'll see how he handles things. Right now he will deal to the top of the order. Long, Stockman, and Rodenberger. 3rd inning, 2nd trip through for each one of them. This one, some good glove side run is in there for a strike. Long, 1 for 1. He doubled to open up the first. Got to 3rd with less than 2 outs, and the Bulldogs unable to bring him home. The 1-1. Bender misses low. Well, you keep an eye on him here, Scoop, but I'm watching him, and again, that foot, he keeps raising the heel up. It's like he's trying to stretch it out amongst his normal routine here, but it does not look like he's not coming off of it very well. Is this one a shot past Woods at 3rd base and into left field, and Torrin Long says, give me another opportunity. 2nd straight leadoff hit for him today.
Oh, big swing that time by Torrin Long. Hit it hard right down that 3rd base line, and the 3rd team All-WBL player trying to start something up here as Defiance has her leadoff man aboard for the 2nd time tonight, both times being Torrin Long.
So here's Stockman digging in. No official at bat as he laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt down the 3rd base line back in the 1st. Almost beat out the throw. So this one misses inside. Scoop, if a pair of nearly blind broadcasters can see it, clearly everybody else can, and that includes Defiance's dugout. What's your approach to Shadle here, knowing that he, I don't want to say is struggling, but his mechanics clearly are not quite the same as he's dealing with that cramp. Again, you saw him just lift his heel up. He's trying to stretch that thing out.
Yeah, you can see he's laboring out there, so I think if you're Defiance, you don't want to kind of help him out by just swinging at the first old pitch or strike you see. I think you make him work and labor a little bit here.
This one chopped foul. 2-1.
Yeah, right now with that 4-0 advantage, if you're Defiance, it's kind of hard to be super aggressive on the base pass. You don't want to take yourself out of it. You're going to have to go station to station here a little bit. And that time, pulled the string there on a changeup, it looked like, from Shadle. And that time, Stockman well out front. Big pitch there by the senior Shadle to even things up at 2-2.
Long inching a little bit more off of first. The 2-2 elevated. This a high fly ball. Coming in on it is Dietrich. He'll make the call and the catch for the 1st out.
Now we can see Dietrich's got tremendous range out there. We learned that earlier in this ball game, that anything upstairs is going to be tough to find real estate out there in that outfield. A big 1st out there for Shadle, but now have to go through the senior Garrett Rodenberger, who struck out back in the 1st inning.
Rodenberger takes a sweeper for a ball.
Well, that's the pitch right there. Defiance needs to lay off that high sweeper. It's been consistently called a ball. You can't bail them out because the only thing you're going to do with it is really kind of pop it up.
1-0. Up around the letters, and Melvin Daniels raises his right arm. 1-1.
Well, that time he doubled him up, and that pitch maybe an inch lower, very similar to the one before, but that one catches the zone.
This one misses well outside. Down in the Defiance bullpen, we have more action. And I believe that might be Khalil Liggett.
It is. That they could not warm him up because he was playing first base in the inning, and then in the next half of the inning, he was up to bat. So he did not have a chance to warm up.
2-1 off the end of the bat. High, lazy fly ball. It's still carrying into right center, and on the run, Rubenstein makes the catch. 2 away.
Once again, great job by Jacob Shadle. Trusting his defense. Rubenstein had to go a long way, but makes that a routine catch. And after a leadoff single by Long, 2 consecutive fly ball outs. And right now, Shadle doing a great job. You just want to limit the freebies, force Defiance to earn everything when you're up by 4 runs.
Speaking of the freebies, 1 hit batter and 1 walk. That's been it so far for Shadle. After that, Defiance does have 3 hits. They've lacked the clutch hit. The 0-1, another bender on the inside corner. Noah Gomez all of a sudden down deep in the count now, no balls and 2 strikes.
And right now, Shadle again shows the ability to throw that curveball any of the 4 quadrants. And now he's up 0-2.
Way upstairs, snap throw down to first, and nice job by Torn Long to dive back into the bag.
Well, that was off the close. A great snap throw by Hardy. You have the luxury there with that right-handed hitter. Up 0-2 in the count. That pitch clearly off the plate. He came up firing.
The 1-2. Late decision to offer. He swung right through it, and that's a Premier Bank strikeout to end the inning. So for the second time in 3 frames, Torn Long gets aboard as the leadoff man, but for the second time in 3 frames, they cannot bring him around. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. 3 are in the books at Memorial Park in Archibald. Our score remains Napoleon 4, Defiance nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, that's our platform. We believe that's who we're still working for, so we appreciate you joining us here this afternoon. Brett Balvanot alongside Scoop Miller, DCTV Sports, live today at Memorial Park in Archibald. It is the Division II District Championship. The winner punches their ticket to next Thursday's regional semifinals. Right now, Napoleon in command as they lead the #1 seeded Defiance Bulldogs 4-0. As the 9-hole, Blaine Ford will dig in, lead it off against Cody Shaw as he fouls this one out of play.
A nice job by Shaw. Needs to attack the zone. He had that wild spree there in that 2nd inning, but since that time, he's did a nice job trying to get on top of these Napoleon hitters.
Good fastball there. Now he dropped down a little bit of a different delivery or arm angle that time, Scoop, and he got it over for a strike.
Yeah, he took a lot off that pitch. Did a good job of just trying to keep Napoleon from digging in here. There's now Ford in a hole at 0-2.
Shaw brings the heater. Boy, he came right down central, and Ford was sitting on it. He fouled it straight back.
Well, Ford's not your typical 9-hole hitter.
No.
He's really has a big, long swing. He's trying to hit the ball hard. He's also had great numbers, kind of a second leadoff man there from the 9th spot, hitting 300 on the year.
This one off the end of the bat, kind of got him on the wrong foot, popped up at second base, and oh my goodness, Gomez just didn't get a good beat on it. It goes over his head and falls, and it's been that kind of afternoon for Defiance's defense.
But we talked about how a lot of kids on a fly ball that's right behind them will drift back, and that's exactly what Noah Gomez did. You know, I think that ball carried further than he anticipated, but again, you never want to catch a baseball drifting. You want to get behind it, catch it in front. He had plenty of opportunity to do that, but it has been that type of day for Defiance to this juncture. We'll see if Napoleon can cash in as the lamp turns over to Trey Rubenstein.
Rubenstein 1 for 2, swings and misses, and right now Shaw almost looks like he's got kind of an all or nothing mentality right now. I'm just going to bring my fastball, and if you can catch up with it, I'll tip my cap to you. You can hear over our headset microphones here, the wind is blowing fairly brisk. Straight out to left center, runner goes, squaring to bunt. Conley's throw down to second is not in time, and it gets past Ziffel into center field. Borton backing up the play though. And did he offer it that? It is 0-2. Yep, it is strike 2 as Ford into second base with the swipe.
Well, that's a big strike because now that really kind of takes away the sack situation. But Rubenstein's certainly a quality and a clutch hitter here, trying to drive home another run here for the Wildcats.
The 0-2 brings that slurve that misses in the cellar.
Well, that's a good pitch by Shaw. You never want to miss over the plate, especially against a good hitter in an 0-2 count. And that was a very competitive and enticing pitch, but a good hold there by the junior Rubenstein.
The 1-2 from the belt. Shaw deals. Boy, he was clearly looking for something else, but that's a good job of protecting the plate by Trey Rubenstein. He wasn't trying to do anything except foul it off.
You're right, because you're not much you're going to do with that pitch. That had a lot of glove side run. It was maybe in the river there on the outside part of the plate. But that's a ball you really don't want to put in play. You're better off just fouling it off, living for another pitch.
The 1-2, checking the runner at second. Dealing, this one chopped in the dirt. Rubenstein's been pesky here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's such a competitor. We've seen that on the gridiron, on the basketball court, and of course on the baseball diamond as well, where he's excelled in all three for Napoleon. And right now, he'd love a hit, but he could be situational here. Just try to maybe hit behind Ford and find a way to get him to third base with less than 2 outs.
The 1-2, Shaw will try and come up with an out pitch here. Got him on his front foot. This could be trouble, ranging over, and Borton has to play it on a hop. Now the runner trying to take third. There'll be a play. Hutch with the tag. Oh my goodness, and they're going to say he missed. He beat it. Oh my goodness, what a gutsy play by Ford, but it pays off. Bang, bang at third, and Napoleon can do no wrong right now.
I tell you what, that would have been a tough fielder's choice here for Trey Rubenstein, but it looked like that was going to be, as that time Ford did not read it down. And he was a little bit off the base when it dropped, and Borton with a strong arm. From our angle, it looked like that call could have went either way, but Napoleon just under the tag. And great heads up by Rubenstein as he takes second base, and now Defiance in a heap of trouble here as they cannot afford to fall further behind the Wildcats here as Napoleon has second, third, and still not an out recorded.
Up 4-0 Scoop. I guess you can say that's kind of playing with house money, but that still isn't the play that you wanted Ford to do if you're Napoleon, correct?
No, once you misread that, don't let one mistake read to another, but it ends up paying off for the Wildcats. They're not going to labor the point, but again, I thought it was a heads-up play there by Brady Borton, center field. He recognized right away that Ford had no jump to third base, and that would have been a very miraculous fielder's choice when scored 8-5, so to speak.
Would have been close. As it stands, runners at second and third right now with nobody out, and the infield is drawn in.
Yeah, you just hate to bring the infield in any time, especially when you got a good hitter like Dietrich up, and that's the result.
Yep, through into left field. It'll bring home the run number 5 for Napoleon, and the Wildcats are just firing on all cylinders this afternoon.
Great approach from Devin Dietrich. He was sitting fastball right away. He got it, and that ball was hit on the screws. And Napoleon right now clicking on all cylinders as they have a 5-0 advantage here on the Bulldogs, looking for more.
Webb has continued to warm up in the Defiance bullpen. Ligon did in the bottom of the last inning at 5-0 right now with runners at the corners and still nobody out. We'll see how much longer Webb needs to warm up, as a big sweeper is a called strike against Parker Woods.
Yeah, right now, the middle infield deep for Defiance, looking for that double play.
Runner breaks from first, swing and a miss. Conley throws back to the mound. I think that was the designed deke play, but the throw was low. It almost bounced off the mound, and if, in all honesty, Cody Shaw doesn't come up with that, a run scores.
Yeah, that ball was heading towards shortstop, and both middle infielders were heading towards second base. So an athletic play there by Shaw just to track down that I think it was supposed to be a quick throw back to the bump there in case they were trying to double steal, but with no outs, I can't believe Napoleon was going to try to risk sending Rubenstein from third base.
So 0-2, Shaw desperately trying to bear down and get that all-elusive first out of the inning. Woods 1 for 2 on the afternoon. High fly ball, deep enough, it should score the run. Drifting back, Borton makes the catch. Trotting home is Rubenstein with run number 6 of the ball game. Likewise, Dietrich will tag up into third. And Napoleon just in command right now.
Great situational hitting that time by the junior Parker Woods. That's his 4th sack fly of the year. That ball went a long way. Borton had to go all the way back near the track to catch that baseball. And great base running by Dietrich as he tags and takes third base. And now Defiance forced to bring the infield in once again with Dietrich at third and just 1 out.
Here's Gherkin digging in, 1 for 2. Webb, I can't tell if he's tipped his cap yet or not, but he's had plenty of time to warm up. Again, hard to believe we're not quite halfway through this ball game, but 6-0. As a matter of fact, I'll have to try and pull my schedule for Defiance, but when was the last time Defiance scored 6 runs in a contest? Napoleon with a sizable lead.
Story, but this ball is
crushed. Deep to left field. Rodenberger going back and watches it sail over the 353 mark. Lucas Gherkin with a 2-run shot. And this game has been completely blown open now. 8-0 Wildcats.
What a swing by the senior Lucas Gherkin. That was a no-doubter. That had to feel awfully good there off the bat. And right now, Napoleon on top 8-0 after Gherkin delivers with the yard work. Tremendous swing once again by the senior, who gets his 17th and 18th RBI of the year on that bomb right there.
They've already put a 4-spot across, and this is going to be the second time that Coach Weaver's come out to the bump. It's got to be the lowest of feelings for such an incredible competitor as Cody Shaw is, but he just hasn't been able to get the outs here this afternoon. Hold your head high, young man. Napoleon has earned them. At the same time, the question is, who now takes the bump? I see Khalil Ligon coming in.
I think it's going to be Ligon, but he's changing gloves, it looks like, right now.
So now the question is this just going to be a straight change? Or do we start to spin the roulette wheel? Normally Garrett Rodenberger, and as I'm seeing number 5 now come over, looks like Rodenberger will be playing first. So now who do you put in left?
Well, Shaw will probably come back to catch. Then we'll see if they replace Conley.
All right, let's take a peek at it. So in the grays, Conley looks like he's going to left.
To left field.
Okay. So Conley moves from behind the plate to left. Shaw will come in to catch, which is his normal position. Rodenberger will now move to first. And Khalil Ligon now on the bump. Khalil Ligon is one of the 3 frontline starters for Defiance this season. Matter of fact, his numbers, 5-1 in 8 appearances with a 2.46 ERA. Scoop, looks like you've got the rest of his line. Go ahead and fill us in on it.
Yeah, for Ligon, this will be the 4th appearance out of the bullpen. He does have 8 overall. This will be his 9th, but he's had some quality innings for the Bulldogs. He has an ERA of 2.46. Also has thrown 31 in the 3rd innings, giving up just 22 hits, so he's been really effective. Opponents hitting below the Mendoza line off of Ligon, so he's been one of those 3 frontline pitchers for Defiance all season, but I'll guarantee you he's never been put in this situation. Looking at an 8-0 deficit, he knows he has to keep this game right here to have any type of prayer for Defiance, who really has been shell-shocked here today at Memorial Park.
Well, you can say the wind maybe aided that last shot by Lucas Gherkin, but it was a no-doubter off the barrel of the bat. That was just crushed.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of home runs here at Archbold over the years, and that was one that you knew right from the get-go was not going to – Park wasn't going to hold it. That put a little dent out there in that advertising upper deck there of the scoreboard.
So here's Shadle digging in. First pitch swinging, chops it foul, third base side. Base is clear with still only one out so far here in the top of the fourth. The Wildcats have plated 4 runs on 4 hits. Of course, the big blow, the 2-run shot, is this one. A shot back to the mound. Ligon fielding his position. Underhands it to first, 2 away. So Luke Hardy will stroll to the plate. One of the few Wildcats who has yet to reach this afternoon. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and a ground out to short. Ligon deals. Nice stop by Shaw. Well, interesting because the bottom half of this regional bracket has played out to chalk. You've got the 2 top seeds playing in a district championship here today. Not the case in the top half of it, Scoop. We don't have a score update, but there's been, nasty bender by Ligon. Holy cow, that jelly-legged Hardy is. He just can simply only be very nice to that pitch and let it sail by, strike 2. The 1-2 on the way. This is in the cellar.
Well, you're right, Brent. This bracket played out. The top 4 seeds all made it here to the district in Archbold. The top 2 playing here today for the district championship. But on the other side, it's going to be either the 5 seed or the 3 seed that these two, the winner of these 2 will face at Bowling Green's Carter Park Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that will either be Sandusky, Perkins, or Huron, who started today at 1 o'clock.
Boy, Ligon looked like he was trotting off the bump thinking he had a called third strike, and instead it's ball 4, and Coach Weaver coming out telling everybody to back up with that wind picking up. No doubles defense right now as Owen Espinoza, 1 for 1 with a walk and a run scored, will step up.
Espinoza's been big in this district tournament. He's had 5 quality at-bats out of 6. And looking for the 6th one right here, trying to keep the line moving with 2 outs. And what's been a very productive inning for Napoleon, putting up their 2nd crooked number here today, scoring in 3 of the 4 innings against Defiance.
Well, another one in the dirt. This one scoots past Shaw. Another wild pitch, and Hardy will lumber into second base.
So out of character for Defiance to throw these wild pitches. They average just over half a wild pitch per game, and I think that was neither 5 or 6 right there. Just really out of character for the Bulldogs, who've had their struggles here today.
By my book, it is 4.
Yeah, I like this move right here. You're pinch running for Hardy. You have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and a base hit could score you. And again, you're going to play this for a run right now. You're trying to find a way to make this 8-0 lead a 9-0 lead.
Trying to get a number on the
23.
I know, and I don't have a 23 on our roster that we printed up. I thought I heard Tucker Shepard's name being mentioned. So we'll hold. So right now he remains the mystery runner. And you know the name we always christen a mystery player with, don't you?
Curtis Runner.
Jambalaya Jenkins is now at second base. This one upstairs, glove pops. Two and two. 2 down. Runner at second here, top of the fourth. Wildcats have already plated 4 in the dirt. Nice stop by Shaw. Payoff pitch. Ligon from the belt. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. A Premier Bank strikeout. A backwards K to end the top of the 4th, but not before another big crooked number gets spot by the Wildcats. 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors and 1 left aboard. Defiance calling their offense. They've got some work to do as we head to the bottom of the frame. You're watching the District 2 championships from Archibald on DCTV Sports. Division II District Championships. We welcome you back to Archibald Memorial Park. Top-seeded Defiance has some work to do as they trail Napoleon by a score of 8-0. Wildcats have wrapped out 9 hits. Bulldogs just a couple. Scoop, there's no such thing as an 8-run homer. So right now, if you are Brady Borton, your job is to just use your speed, figure out a way to get aboard, and let your teammates continue to move the line.
You're exactly right. You have to be a table setter right here. You're not going to hit that 8-run homer, but you do have 4 innings to work with. So right now, you want to try to get 2 runs in each inning to work your way back in this ball game. If you get more, you'll take it.
Swing and a miss. Borton 0 for 1. Flew out to right his first trip up. Brad Zippel, the shortstop on deck. Khalil Ligon, first baseman, now pitcher in the hole as that one hit him. And again, a long layoff in that dugout. We know that Jacob Shadle has been dealing with some cramping, although would certainly think that he had some time to hydrate and stretch it out after a 4-run spot. But he nails the leadoff hitter here.
And for Defiance, they have scored 8 or more runs 8 different times this season, but many of those came in the first few weeks. I think at least one of those came down in Florida.
Yep. I may have inadvertently said Brez Zippel on deck. It's Christian Conley, then Brez Zippel. Khalil Ligon right now is in the hole. Conley 0 for 1. This one in the dirt. Nice stop by Hardy.
Right now, I think it's going to be important for Defiance. You know, you're going to need more than just hits at this juncture. You're going to need some help. They got a little bit there with the hit batsman, but they need some walks to go with it. So I think you need to be patient here and just try to force the point into their bullpen. Remember, they threw Trey Rubenstein against Bryan, so he is spent, ineligible to pitch here today.
This one, a sweeper over the heart of the plate for a strike. Well, don't forget, Shadle threw on Thursday night as well in relief because that ball went into that game went into extra innings. I think he got what, at least 1 inning in relief, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Shadle came in relief and threw 1.
Oh, this is a chopper back to the first base side. Doesn't look like he's cramping up there, does he? He got off the mound in a hurry. Fielding his position well for the first out. Did you have a pitch count there for him on Thursday night? It was light relief.
Yeah, that's big. I will grab it. I do have it downstairs in my bag here once I can able to search through it between innings. But he did come in relief there, and they had to. I mean, you can't play Saturday for the championship if you don't win Thursday, and that was a tremendous game. We saw multiple lead changes in that game. We saw both teams battle from behind, and Napoleon was very opportunistic Thursday night.
So here's Zippel digging in. 0 for 1. Flew out to left deep on a great run and catch by Dietrich. And right now, Scoop, if you're Defiance, just get something. How often have you heard coaches say, once we broke the scoreboard, everything just kind of took off after that? You just need something, especially with a runner in scoring position and less than 2 outs. Big sweeper starts right at the shortstop, breaks over the heart of the plate for strike one.
Well, you're right. Defiance has really kind of played tight all afternoon, it seems like, and they had that golden opportunity in the first inning when they had runner on third base with 1 out, but consecutive punch outs by Shadle into that threat where Defiance just need to really kind of put the ball in play, put a little pressure on the defense, kind of use the elements in the field to your advantage. But credit Shadle, he's just been a workhorse out there today, just kind of battling.
1-1, he missed inside, but it dipped the barrel of the bat down, and Zipfel upset with himself that he didn't put more of the barrel on it. Strike two.
It's tough to barrel up a pitch that's got that much movement that ends up on the knees on the inner third. And there's just not much they're going to do with that pitch. So credit Shadle once again, continues to throw that sweeping bender all throughout the strike zone here today.
The 1-2 out of the stretch. Shadle, long look at second. This one misses upstairs. 2-2. I get the feeling here, and again with an 8-run lead, it's not like this is a high leverage situation, but I also don't think Shadle's going to give in here, do you?
No.
Zipfel asking for time, and he's not being granted. Fouled straight back here.
That's very unusual. That time Zipfel was asking for time, and it was not even imminent. He was just becoming set. But nice job there of not bailing out. A lot of guys just assume you're going to get time and leave the box. He stayed in there.
That's a no-no.
Fought off that tough pitch.
The 2-2, Shadle comes home, elevates, popped up, and will get back and out of play.
But once again, another tough pitch to do much with. But that time Zipfel just had to try to fight it off. He did just that. Again, Shadle not giving in, being very competitive here. This has been a good battle.
So we'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A couple of 2-strike pitches fouled away. Zipfel hanging tough. Shadle again checks the runner at second. Check swing. He held the appeal. Oh, he didn't go. No way.
Well, even if he did, it's going to be hard to get to that call when you got your other official behind the mound there and not down the first base line for a right-handed hitter.
Payoff pitch. The dead giveaway, does the barrel go in front of the hands? And it did not that time. So we'll see if Zipfel gets something to work with. This one, a humpback liner, and just past the outstretched glove of Bickle into right center. Borton had to hold to read it down. He does advance 90 feet into third, and here we go. 1 out, runners at the corners for Khalil Ligon.
Well, that's a great at-bat there by Brez Zipfel. It doesn't look fancy. You get a humpback liner there.
I would have killed for those when I play.
But what he did so well, he fought off a couple tough 2-strike pitches, worked the pitch count there. And more importantly for Defiance, they just now have another guy trying to set the table. Well, you're right. Why didn't we get any of those types of base hits?
I never did. Well, first you had to get at bats to get hits, and I had a severe limitation on those. Ligon digging in, no official at bat. He's asking for time, and he's not getting it as this pitch misses outside.
This is unbelievable. Defiance must be out of timeouts here because they were begging for time 3 seconds before the pitch became imminent.
1-0. Shadle out of the stretch. Off the end of the bat, popped up on the infield. Hauled in by Espinoza, 2 down. Is it me, or is Shadle just plain missing a lot of barrels today?
He's got an act for that. He's been that good all season long, just does a tremendous job. And we kind of talked about it earlier, Brent. He's got such movement on that curveball. It's just hard to square up. If one thing, if it moves 6 to 10 inches, this thing is all over the place, and he locates it where he wants.
So there's Shaw digging in. Big sweeper for a first pitch strike. Shaw absolutely barreled one up in his first trip. pulled one to left field, and a tremendous diving catch by Parker Woods ended the inning. The 0-1 here. This one ripped again, and again, fancy leather being flashed. This time third baseman Parker Woods. And Cody Shaw has to be wondering what he's got to do to pick up a hit. Parker Woods, they call it the hot corner for a reason, leaps up, takes away an RBI hit, and keeps Defiance off the scoreboard. No runs on one hit, no errors, and 2 left aboard. 4 are in the books at Archibald. Still 8-0 Napoleon. You're watching DCTV Sports. Khalil Ligon on for his first full innings worth of work, has finished his warm-ups for Defiance. He will deal to 8, 9, and then the leadoff man here in the top of the 5th. Cal Bickle will stroll to the plate. Blaine Ford, the DH, on deck, and then the lineup turns over for Trey Rubenstein. 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors for Napoleon. No runs on 3 hits, no errors for Defiance. And the bottom of the last inning, I think, has just been a blueprint for the frustration that the #1 seeded Bulldogs have been facing today. Scoop, you get a pair aboard. Again, some of your better hitters don't get their best swings off. Your 9-hole for the second time in as many bats barrels one up, and a tremendous defensive play not only steals a hit, but another run, or would-be run.
Yeah, Cody Shaw could not have hit that ball any harder than he did. Just one of those balls in the right spot. But credit Napoleon, tremendous play there from Parker Woods to not only rob Shaw of a hit, but take away a run as well.
2-0 popped up right side, couple of feet back on the outfield grass. Battling that wind a little bit, but Rodenberger, nice job to stay with it as he puts the leather to it. And the Wildcat leadoff man retired here in the 5th.
And Britt, what's been so amazing about this game, we knew both teams capable of winning, but looking at the score 8-0, and the fact you look at this series rivalry over the years, Defiance 45-9 all time against Napoleon. Here Napoleon has an 8-run cushion. You hear people in the crowd talking about a potential run rule, something you never thought would be in the conversation here today.
At all. That just tells you how well Napoleon's been performing today, as this one lined on one hop into left. Conley will have to play it on a bounce. How about this out of the 9-hole? Blaine Ford 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored so far this afternoon.
Well, no. You got 5 for 5 on the week here.
You're going back to games that are not being played today, but yes, I get you.
And he's also, his other 2 at-bats, he walked and got hit by a pitch. So he's been on base all 7 times from the 9-hole. That will win you some games and possibly a district title.
This one popped up. Rubenstein sends it left side. Conley has a beat on it. That wind playing games today, but he squeezes for the second out. Well, in effect, Scoop, after that first inning, Blaine Ford has in effect been an extra leadoff man. And today, with 2 runs scored, he's been extremely effective.
Yeah, just incredible. You love to get maybe a base knock from the 9-hole a lot of times, a sac bunt or so. But he's just been hitting the baseball, as you mentioned. Perfect 2 for 2 today. already scored a couple runs, looking to score for a third time here.
Right now, Ligon trying to keep as the runner goes. Shaw's throw down to second on the bag. Tag made. Oh, they didn't get him. Did he beat that, or maybe from our vantage point was the tag off?
Well, I think it looked like the catch was made by Zippel in front of the bag, and it looked like an excellent slide from Ford on the back side of it. So maybe just I think the ball clearly beat him.
Without question.
But an excellent slide there from Ford. Now just a base hit away from scoring for perhaps the third time here this afternoon.
Well, Defiance trying to keep Napoleon off the board for just the second inning this afternoon. Ligon deals, tries to hump it up and misses over the visor of the helmet. Yeah, Cody Shaw's pop time, I'm beginning to think is sub-2, Scoop. We've seen him a couple of occasions. I know Coach Weaver said he averages around 2, but I think he may be a little underneath that.
I agree. I think he's closer to 1.9. He's just got such a strong arm, such a quick release.
The 2-0, inside out swing, fouled away. So where would you project Cody Shaw at the next level? Because I don't think there's any question he's a college level player. Is he a catcher? Is he a pitcher? Or is he a potential two-way guy?
Well, I think he can do either or. I don't see him as a two-way guy just because in D1 baseball, you just don't see that combination. You might see a first baseman or an outfielder who's a two-way guy. I don't think you see that out of the pitcher slot.
2-1 hits him, man. That's going to smart. Now, again, it sounded like that might have caught some of the elbow protector, but just the same, Dietrich smacks his bat down into the turf. And Khalil Lakin making things a little bit more difficult on himself now with the free pass via the hit batter. Runners at first and second.
Yeah, that left a mark there in Dietrich. He certainly felt that, as you saw from his reaction.
So here's Woods digging in. He's been effective on the day. A 2 RBI single in the second. RBI sac fly in the fourth. He's also grounded out to third as he takes low. Kind of following back up on that possibility of where you play Cody Shaw at the next level. You know where I'm going to go, right? With the player that I'm about to make a comparison to.
I do.
Will Rogers caught the first 2 games for the University of Michigan at this week's Big Ten tournament and then pitched last night and took a no-hitter through 7. Now, that's not the norm. I get it. But you want your best athletes on the field.
I agree, but you know what a rarity that is.
I do.
And that's the point. I think Shaw is good enough to either catch or pitch at the next level, no question. There are just not a lot of college coaches that entertain that idea, especially in those 2 positions.
Ooh, 1-1, notches off the back of the elbow. Back-to-back hit batters, and now Napoleon has them loaded. Wow. It's just not Defiance's day.
It's just crazy how many freebies that Defiance has given up. That's always a point of emphasis for Defiance High School. You win the freebie war, you win the game, and freebies being base on balls, hit batsmen, wild pitches, pass balls.
Errors.
Errors, things you have complete control over. And right now, Defiance has kind of been their own worst enemy as they ignited a couple of these rallies with a lot of freebies.
First pitch, Bender misses to Lucas Gherkin. Gherkin 2 for 3 today with a single. Brought home a run back in the first. He's grounded out to short. Then, of course, the monster blast off the left field scoreboard that brought home 2 runs just an inning ago. And Khalil Ligon has nowhere to put him with a Napoleon teammate at every base. 1-0, bottom fell out of that pitch, swing and a miss.
Oh, that's a great changeup right there. Completely fooled Lucas Gherkin, who again had that monster shot just an inning ago. That evens things up at 1-1.
Webb continues to warm up in the Defiance pen. As Ligon, oh, that was nasty. Started right at Gherkin. Gherkin actually bailed, and it broke right over the heart of the plate, strike 2.
Oh, we've seen some great pitches today, but I think that may have been the best pitch I've seen all day. That thing was nasty, heading right at Gherkin, and it falls off a table. A lot of late run to it.
It's the one you blow a kiss to as it goes by. The 1-2. Oh, what a stop by Shaw. That was what? Maybe 3 feet in front of the plate?
Yeah, 57-footer at best, and that 99 times out of 100 is going to the screen, and somehow Shaw was able to get out there and make a glove play on it, so that temporarily scratches off a run for Napoleon. But now, Ligon, you don't want to go to a 3-2 count here with 2 outs and get the runners moving.
2-2. This one lined into left field. It will score at least one as Ford comes home. They'll go ahead and wave Dietrich around third. The ball was booted by Conley, and here comes a third runner, and this game is now blown open. 10 plus.
How about Lucas Gherkin? 3/4 of the way to the cycle. He has a single home run and now a double. And I think that's a double, Brent, because there's nothing you can do out there if you're Christian County. That ball took another nasty hop. I mean, I hate to mention it, but the field conditions here have been brutal for both teams. And that time, that nasty hop just ate Conley up there in left field. And wow, an 11-0 advantage here for Napoleon, looking for more with 2 outs.
And they are going to bring in Webb. Well, they just have not been able to solve anybody so far today. Luke Webb, the senior.
Number 26, Luke Webb.
Yeah, and again, give all the credit in the world to Napoleon because they came to play. They came believing they could beat Defiance. And they've also, as we mentioned earlier, they've won 12 of their last 15. This is not a fluke that they're here by any stretch. The top 2 teams, seed-wise, are playing for this district crown as you'd like it to be. And Napoleon is really dominated in every phase. And that's hard to do against Defiance because when you play Defiance, you have that psychological barrier that first you must get over. And a lot of teams don't get that far. You knew Napoleon would have that part solved, but you didn't know they were going to have an answer for a guy like Cody Shaw, Khalil Ligon. They've just really consistently put these guys in play. And how about Jacob Shadle on the bump there? Just been outstanding.
Well, Scoop, and there's the point to kind of piggyback on what you're talking about. These aren't nobodies. These are frontline guys for Defiance whose numbers have borne out how dominant they've been this season. And Cody Shaw with a 1.44 ERA, 6-1 in 7 appearances. Ligon, a 2.46 ERA, 6-1 in 8 appearances, and it doesn't seem to matter. Webb will come in. Webb has technically been the 4th starter. He's 0-1 in 5 appearances with a 7.0 ERA. He had some health issues in the very first week of the season in that Florida trip. Had to have kidney stone surgery. He's a lefty. He's going to be a completely different look here, more of a finesse pitcher. Crafty, I think, is the term we always use with lefties, right?
Exactly.
But he's in just to try and stop the bleeding right now as Shadle digs in. One of the few Wildcats without a hit, without having reached base, although what he's done on the mound has been more than ample. Swing and a miss.
No, if he was going to have an off day, I'm sure Eric Sprague would have said, okay, you have an off day offensively, but not on the defensive side of things as being the starting pitcher.
So 1-1. I can't remember the last time we saw Webb. I'm trying to think when his last appearance would be. Swing and a miss. I will say this. Torrin Long referred to him as the team dad during his player profile interview last week. I said, if somebody's car breaks down and they need a ride, who's that guy? Somebody, oh, wow, he hung one. This one lined into left field. Conley, all or nothing, can't come up with it. They're going to go ahead and wave Gherkin around third. He will score. An RBI single, and the hits just keep on coming for the Wildcats. It's 12-0.
Great job by the senior Jacob Shadle, who was held hitless to that point. He did have 2 big hits the other night in that thrilling win against Bryan. He comes up with another clutch 2-out hit for Napoleon, and an RBI on top of that. And now an even dozen here for the Wildcats. And Luke Hardy, who walked last time up at the dish.
Well, I don't know anybody that could have said they foresaw this. And if they say they do, they're absolutely lying.
Number 6,
But 12-0.
Well, no question about it. You have a Defiance team that's been to the regional 20 times, been to the Final Four 6 times. One of the top programs in all of Ohio as far as number of wins at 1,243 coming into today. And as we already mentioned, a 45-9 series advantage against Napoleon, but throw all that out the window. Napoleon wasn't paying attention, and right now they're just putting a hurting on the Bulldogs here today.
Pinch runner coming in, it's Paul Saucer. Coach Bragg trying to give as much of his roster some time on the field as possible. As Hardy swings and fouls this one away, down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
A good-looking swing by Hardy. He's a guy that does not like to get cheated, so he's usually up there being very aggressive, but now he's in a hole to Luke Webb, 0-2. We'll see what the crafty lefty comes up with.
Webb deals. Fouled straight back, he elevated, and Hardy didn't miss by much, just underneath it.
No, he's not thinking first to third right here on a base hit. He's thinking, how can I score this guy right here with one swing?
Already a 12-run lead, 4 spot so far in each of the 2 innings. This one about a 56-footer. It bounces but hits Hardy, and it's just been that kind of afternoon for Defiance's pitchers.
Yeah, you get up 0-2 and 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning, and that time a bender there that just kept running into Hardy, and that hit the dirt, but then immediately bounced into the foot ankle area of Hardy, so he's on for the 2nd consecutive time.
So here's a question for you, because I've had this question asked before, and how that play played out. As this one popped up, right side could be trouble. Into right field, and it's going to drop in no man's land. Rodenberger can't get there. Stockman couldn't get there. Another run comes home to make it 13-0.
Have we mentioned when it rains, it pours?
My
right now, just
goodness.
Napoleon, again, to their credit, quality at bat after quality at bat, but you could have not have dropped that in a better spot out there as that ball was hit upstairs, but just inside the line there. Kind of in that Bermuda Triangle where the first baseman, second baseman, right fielder, none of them can get there in time. Another 2-out hit that scores another Napoleon run.
And up steps Cal Bickle. Napoleon has hit around in this inning. Bickle led it off with a pop out to first. He takes a ball here. So getting back to the previous hitters' questions, because I've had somebody ask me this question before, and I know the answer, but you're earning your paycheck today. Ball bounces and hits the batter. It's a hit batter. He takes his base.
Correct.
Ball bounces, batter swings and misses. It's a strike. Ball bounces, batter swings, puts it in play, and hits a home run. What's the call?
So ball bounces.
Ball bounces, the batter still swings, and he hits it out of the park. What's the call?
That's a home run.
Okay. I have seen that happen, granted at the junior high level, but there was an argument that that was not, that wasn't the rule, basically. And I'm like, no, the ball's in play until the umpire says it's not.
Absolutely.
Basically a little cricket instead of baseball, but just the same. 2 balls and 2 strikes right now to Cal Bickle. Not saying Cal Bickle will.
I've never seen that. I've seen my golf club bounce off the turf and then hit the ball. It's certainly not over the fence.
Bickle swings and misses, and the inning mercifully over for Defiance, but not before a 5 spot comes up for Napoleon. They get it on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. Well, Defiance needs at least 4, or the unthinkable will happen here. The 10-run rule goes into effect. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with the bottom of the 5th right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, there you get a good look at Napoleon right-handed starter senior Jacob Shadle. He has shut out Defiance so far on just 3 hits, and he's been the recipient of some massive offense. 13 hits, 13 runs. I'm sure maybe some of the Wildcat fans are saying, save some of that for Carter Park next week. But just the same, he's got a chance to finish out what would be a run-shortened ball game if Defiance doesn't put up at least 4 runs this frame.
You're right. It would be the unthinkable, but as good as Shadle's been, this score could be 1-0 right now, and you got to feel really good if you're a Napoleon Wildcat because Shadle has just really been masterful. You know, I think the hitters know they're going to see 3 out of the 4 pitches are going to be curveballs, but you never see the same one. You see one up and in, you see one low and away, the next one's down and in. He's just been masterful and really keeping Defiance in check.
Torn Long 2 for 2 with a double and a single, both as leadoff hitters in the first and third respectively, as he takes a big sweeping frisbee for a called strike. Goes after another here, and down on the count now 0-2.
It's just been incredible. And remember, Shadle pitched 2 innings in relief against Bryan Thursday night. And
really hot
that
night.
has not labored him at all. And there he tries that high inside bender that just misses. But again, what a quality pitch, 0-2. Close enough you might entice somebody to expand his zone and swing at it.
Long has seen it well so far today as he lines this one up the middle. He is 3 for 3, all as a leadoff man this afternoon. We'll see if the line can keep moving here for Defiance in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Long's been one of 2 guys that really has done a nice job of timing up Jacob Shadle. The other one has been Cody Shaw, who's 0 for 2 with those 2 hard-hit line drives. But great job here by Long, going 3 for 3.
So Stockman will dig in. Oh, check that. We're going to have a pinch hitter. This is going to be, I believe, is it Rodenberger? Yes, number 14. Grant Rodenberger swings and fouls this one straight back. Rodenberger is senior, along with his brother Garrett. Grant was our player profile earlier today.
And right now, Shadle in no danger of even being up toward the pitch count. Remember, this is just the 5th inning. Even though Defiance right now, if they don't score at least 4 down to their last 3 outs. But, you know, in Ohio, if you throw 31 to 50 pitches, you only have to sit out 1 day, which is what Shadle did. So he sat out yesterday, and now he's cleared for 125 potentially plus pitches. But doesn't look like he's going to need near that many today.
This one off the end of the bat. Does it have eyes? Into right center field, laying out, and Rubenstein can't come up with it. Long had to hold to make sure it got down, and do we have a fielder down? I believe it's the right fielder, Hirschberger, but he's up and appears to be okay.
That looks like he's favoring his right knee there a little bit. He's sold out there trying to make that spectacular play. There you see it. I'm good.
Of course. Well, we talked about how hard the infield is. I believe the outfield grass is pretty firm as well, so when he came down on that, probably just knocked the wind out of him. So back-to-back hits for the first time this afternoon for Defiance, and that will bring up Garrett Rodenberger. Garrett Rodenberger 0 for 2, struck out swinging back in the first, flew out to center in the third. This one elevates and misses upstairs. Well, they're still staying vocal in the Defiance dugout and stepping off. Now Rodenberger will step out.
Yeah, the Defiance crowd has not been vocal because Napoleon has completely taken them out of it with their play here today.
This one popped up, foul territory right side, charging in is Gherkin. He's got it.
Great communication that time by the Wildcats. Routine pop foul there between home and first, and looked like both Shadle and Gherkin had a chance to make the play. Great job there by Gherkin to call it off and take charge. And right now, Defiance now down to the final 2 outs.
Well, it should be Noah Gomez, but instead we're going to have a pinch hitter here, and I cannot get the number on the young man. If you can crane your neck around there. Or maybe Ryan can focus in on him a little bit. Lefty 8. All right, thank you. It's Tyson Williamson.
Yeah, Williamson, the senior, trying to keep the line moving. That's a cue shot off the end of the bat. It's going to end up being a fielder's choice. Great job there by Parker Woods. We've mentioned how there's really no routine ball here at Memorial Park, and that time Woods did it just as you would coach it. Take it off the chest, keep it in front. You knew you had time there just to step on third base. And now Defiance down to the final out as the junior Brady Borton steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning.
Runners at first and second. Borton sends a high fly ball deep to left field. Dietrich going back, looking up, gone! Now how important was that fielder's choice at third to get the lead runner? A 3-run homer by Brady Borton. And you just knew that Bulldog pride would demand that they avoid the shutout. But still down to their final out as Christian Conley is scheduled to take a cut here.
Yeah, that was a good-looking swing right off the bat, kind of one of those no-doubters. But unfortunately for Defiance, it comes when they're down big. You'd love to have seen that maybe earlier in the game where it might have put a little bit more pressure on Napoleon, maybe caused them to play a little bit tighter.
So here's Conley digging in as he takes that big sweeper outside for a ball. Conley looking at a 2-0 count. He is 0 for 2 today. Fly out to right and a ground up back to the pitcher. Popped him up. Foul territory left side. Woods coming in. There is your ball game. Napoleon brought their best here this afternoon against the district's top seed. And the arch rival knocks off the Bulldogs by a final of 13-3. 13 runs on 14 hits, no errors for Napoleon. 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Defiance. And the Wildcats advance to next week's regionals semifinals.
What an incredible win here for Napoleon. They came out ready to play, clicking on all cylinders. And they held Defiance until that last inning of just 2 hits. Defiance did put those 3 hits together. Got the nice 3-run shot there to get on the scoreboard, but just too little too late, and a convincing win here for Napoleon. As you mentioned, Brent, we'll move to next Thursday's regional semifinal at Bowling Green's Carter Park. That game's scheduled to start at 2 p.m. There'll be a second game immediately following at 5 p.m.
We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, it will be the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Final score, Napoleon 13, Defiance 3. You're watching DCTV Sports. The Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. We welcome you back to it. The scene from Memorial Park at Archibald, the top-seeded Defiance Bulldogs. Sometimes it's just not your day, but I will also say this, sometimes it is your day, and it happened to be both ends of the spectrum here this afternoon. Defiance just simply did not have their best, and Napoleon brought theirs en route to a 10-run rule victory. 13-3 in 5 innings. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Scoop, I know that there's nothing you can say as a coach. You've been there how many times in how many different sports. When the season comes to an end, it's always a bitter pill to swallow, especially for a senior class that knows they're going to be hanging up the jersey. They'll never wear it again, but at the same time, today, you just have to tip your cap to Napoleon. They were on fire.
Well, to me, that's the story of the day is Napoleon. You know, that's where the focus should be. They played so well. They got great pitching. They got timely hitting. Their defense, I thought, was spectacular. The few times Defiance early had some really good at-bats. They got taken away for some outstanding defensive plays. And we could kind of sense it early, like, boy, this is just one of those days where nothing seemed to go in their way. But Napoleon had a lot to do with that. And our congratulations to the Wildcats as they're moving on to the regionals for the first time since the 2011 season.
Well, there we see, well, right now we see the back ends of Napoleon's players. Defiance's players are being recognized, and in particular the senior class and the coaches here. And there's a shot from our center field camera as, how about just the fantastic job that the hosts and Archibald have done here this afternoon. As we see Alan Gladio, the AD for Defiance, giving the awards and the plaques to Defiance. And you can hear the loud cheers. Napoleon's faithful have stuck around because now they are getting the big trophy as they are advancing to next week's regional semifinals at Carter Park.
I tell you what, a lot of happy Napoleon fans here, and they came out in droves here today. Both Defiance and Napoleon had fans all the way down the lines to the corners, and of course the bleachers full as well. But wow, this has to feel awfully good. Not just the fact you're beating Defiance, but you're beating them on this stage, and you get a chance to reach the Sweet 16 where anything can happen. Napoleon would love to find a way to get to their first Final Four ever.
Let's talk about the guy on the bump today. We can talk about a lot of offense, and understandably so. When you wrap out 14 hits, good for 13 runs, you can talk about plenty. But you always hear the phrase, it starts on the mound, and Jacob Shadle was nearly untouchable today. He allows just 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 of those coming on one swing of the bat. Brady Borton's 3-run shot in the bottom of the 5th. It still came up short to extend the ball game, but other than that, he was nearly untouchable today.
Tip your cap to Jacob Shadle. You know, he's been really good from the point all season long, but I thought today was maybe perhaps one of his best performances of his career. The fact that he wasn't overpowering, he wasn't flashy, but he located that curveball. We saw it right here from behind home plate. That thing was nasty. We knew it was going to be tough for Defiance to square up. And talking to head coach Eric Sprague before the game, he was really feeling good about having that young man on the bump. He talked about how competitive he is, how he's got such good drop on that off-speed pitch. And he did just enough with his fastball. You know, he showed that occasional changeup just to keep guys honest. But, wow, you talk about a pitching performance. That was it.
Looking down, up and down the lineup here for Napoleon, and with the exception of one spot, the 8-hole, everybody in a Wildcat uniform this afternoon either reached base once and scored or drove in at least one run. Trey Rubenstein going 2 for 4 with a couple of runs scored. Devin Dietrich going 2 for 2 with 3 runs scored. Lucas Gherkin going 3 for 4, including the big 2-run homer. He had 5 RBI today, including 2 runs scored. I mean, up and down the lineup, it just seemed like murderer's row for Napoleon this afternoon.
Well, just incredible. You're playing Defiance. You're hoping to maybe get 5 or 6 hits and maybe get a couple together where you might have a chance to score a run or two. But here you had half your team had multiple hit games. You've got a 3-for-3 performance in the 9 spot from Blaine Ford. And when you get 14 hits against Defiance, that's a rarity. And probably even more rare, the fact that you put up 13 runs against this Defiance team. Just incredible what the Wildcats are doing. But again, really no secret when you talk to Coach Sprague. This is their 13th win in their last 16 games. And their 3 losses within a combined 4 runs to 3 very good teams. So they've got a chance to not only make some noise in that regional tournament at Bowling Green, but a chance to move on as well.
We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll continue our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Final score, Napoleon 13, Defiance 3. We're back after this on DCTV Sports. And we welcome you back. The Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show continues. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as Defiance falls to Napoleon in the district championships here this afternoon, and it was all Wildcats by a final of 13-3. We ran through Napoleon's box. Let's go ahead and give you a quick look at Defiance's. Again, one bright spot that really jumps out. Torin Long, the senior. I know there's nothing you can say to him right now. He knows he's played his last game in a Defiance uniform. He will be playing somewhere at the next level. It's just a matter of where. But he can hold his head high, as can the rest of his teammates. But he went 3 for 3 today, all as a leadoff man, Scoop. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to drive him home this afternoon.
Yeah, and again, it never feels good to lose that last game, but these guys have so much to be proud of. Someday they're going to look back and realize, wow, were we that good? I mean, this is the team that won the WBL title for the 28th time, a team that was able to get to 20 wins for the 29th time in school history, and just one game away from getting to their 21st ever regional tournament. But they were denied by a very good Napoleon team. This one's certainly going to sting for a little bit, but again, these guys have been tremendous to watch all season. I know their coaches and fans are very proud of them.
Defiance got their 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They just couldn't come up with at least 2 more. They are retired via the run rule, but Brady Borton goes yard with 2 aboard, so he is 1 for 2. He was also hit by a pitch and finishes with a 3-run homer. As I look down here, though, Scoop, Defiance had their chances today. They left half a dozen runners on base through the first 4 innings, but they just couldn't come up with the clutch hit when they needed it.
Yeah, and several of those runners they left on base were on second and third base. I thought if they could have maybe gotten a run early there, where they had the guy on third just one out there in the first inning, that might have changed things a little bit. But the fact that Shada was so good, He made great pitches when he had to, but also Napoleon, to their credit, I thought they robbed Defiance of several hits and took them out of some innings early, and that really kind of changed the whole complexion. Once Defiance got behind their multiple runs, it kind of changes your outlook a little bit. You no longer have the ability to play for a run, try to manufacture a run. Instead, you got to go for the big inning. They just weren't going to get that against a guy like Jacob Shadle, who was lights out today after throwing 2 strong innings in relief against Bryan. So Shadle picks up 2 wins in the district tournament for Napoleon.
In 2 days. Unbelievable. But at the same time, what's the old phrase? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And my question to you is, at least from everybody that you've seen, obviously we can't be all over the entire state, but is anybody playing better ball when it matters the most right now, this deep into the postseason, than Napoleon is?
No, I totally agree. And you look at their schedule. You know, the NOL is such a meat grinder. You know, teams sometimes look at the record too much. The NOL, my goodness, and both that Buckeye and Cardinal division, good luck. There's some of the best teams of all of Ohio are stacked in that conference. So Napoleon took some lumps early, but you got to remember, they've seen great pitching all throughout the year. When they saw it today against Cody Shaw and Khalil Ligon, they weren't phased. They've been there, done that. They got some great swings. And we talked with the coach beforehand. Both coaches thought it was going to be a hitter's day, and it turned out to be that way for Napoleon.
You want to wave him over?
Coach Sprague. Coach Sprague, can we get you here?
It's all right. We have to actually raise the roof on our tent. He raises the roof himself.
Congrats.
Throw that on.
Great win.
Right straight behind you here. Do a complete 180. It's TV, not radio.
You're the focal point. You're right in the middle, young man.
There we go.
I might have to step up on a chair. It makes me feel like I'm even shorter. Look, congratulations. It's one thing to say you win a pitcher's duel. It's one thing to say you win a slugfest. It's another thing to say you performed all 3 phases of the game, pitching, defense, and offense, to just an incredibly high level, but your team did today, and they made it look like they were prepared for it. Can I guess you just talk about getting ready, the mindset that this group was in, because it looked like they were firing on all cylinders from the first pitch?
I could really, a couple weeks ago, start to see it. You know, I don't know how consistently it was, but focus to start to flip a little bit. We put together probably our most complete effort the other night in the sectional, which was a good time to do it, obviously, the sectional final against Bowling Green. Like you said, all 3 facets of the game, I felt we played as well as you possibly could in those 3 facets that night. And today, I should say, we played all 3 facets probably as well as we possibly can. I give credit to Defiance. They're a really, really good baseball team, but when we put together approaches like that at the plate and we pitch it like that, we're really a difficult team to beat.
And Eric, talk about the performance out there in the bump today by Jacob Shadle. He just seemed to really have command of his pitches. He was hitting his spots, not overpowering, but just an impressive pitching performance.
Yeah, we talked about it prior to the game. We had a good conversation, and he knew that. He needed to have his good stuff today. I don't know if he had his velo, but I feel like he had his command, pretty consistently. He was able to mix all 3 pitches. That changeup's key for him. He does have a really good changeup. We probably could show it a little bit more in times, but his curveball kept guys off balance. And against a Defiance team who, with their type of approach style, you gotta be able to get something. If you're not going to throw it really hard, you got to be able to throw something off speed over to keep them off balance.
Battling cramps early on, too. We watched him, I think it was maybe in the 3rd, where he wasn't getting the mechanics down. You could tell he wasn't getting the push off of that foot. Yeah. There was no way he was coming out of the game, but he fought through that as well. Have you ever had a kid suffer something like that and got his way through it?
Well, we give it lip service quite a bit. It's getting hot. It's warming up. It's different than it was a month ago. With the cool weather. But drink fluids, get good rest. The nutritional part of it, we do. We talk about it. But honestly, give him credit. We're going to try to do better with that next week. But give him credit because he didn't let it bother him. His body just in general today didn't feel as great, and he showed that in the dugout. But you know what? we kept motivating him, and he pushed through it. And that's what it comes down to. We look for gritty efforts. We look for guys who can give a little bit more, and he certainly gave more and then some.
So I mean, it doesn't need to be gritty if he just drinks 24 hours earlier,
Correct.
right? You don't get it done on the day of the game. It's the day before
Absolutely.
to hydrate,
Well,
right?
maybe we start drinking Gatorades on the way back on the bus. Do that.
And every day between now and next week.
Yes, that's a good idea.
And Coach, you being a Defiance grad, you know as well as anybody, to beat Defiance, first thing you have to do, get over the mindset where Defiance is always that better team and always has an advantage before you throw out the first pitch. You guys weren't fazed by that. How important was playing in a tough NLL this year maybe helpful in preparing you for today's district championship?
Well, I've said it all along. We do play, and I don't use excuses or feel, whatever, but this is a really good baseball team. And you go through, it's a great, the NLL is a great league, but you play 3 league games a week. You play Monday, Tuesday, and then you play your crossover on Friday. And so it challenges you. It challenges you physically. It challenges you mentally. And I think that does. There's something to be said for that helps us prepare and helps us go about things the way we need to go about, and it helps us against a team like Defiance. It helped us this summer. We had Acme's important for us. We saw confidence that we could beat them this summer. We fell short on early in the season against them, and we felt like we didn't play our best game. And if we could do that, we could be, successful. And we felt we did that today.
Obviously, the bus ride home is going to be a good one, but you're still not done. Walk us through this. You got the better part of next week. Walk us through what the process is.
Well,
like.
we're gonna first of all try to find a game. So we got one game left in our regular season schedule. So we'd like to tune up on either a Monday or a Tuesday. But if we can find somebody within reason, traveling wise, then we'll do that. And if not, then we'll just go back to work on Monday. We'll give them the weekend off, and we'll go back to the things that we've been doing, and not try to maybe fine-tune some things, tighten some things up that maybe we saw against a good Defiance team. Yeah.
All right. Coach, congratulations. We appreciate you joining us. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you very much. Thanks,
Great win.
guys.
Congrats.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
He went just a few miles up the interstate, but Napoleon is moving on here. He told me his chest is still okay after taking one straight off of it against Brian. Let his hands get a little deep in that third base box, Scoop.
Yeah, I thought he should have made that play against Brian the other night. But he's wearing it proudly.
Coach Weaver, as always, very gracious and classy to come up and join us. Throwing those on.
Yep.
Coach, where you start at this, again, when the season comes to an end and when a classy group of seniors know that they're not going to wear the uniform again, there's nothing you can say that eases that sting. But can you just talk about the effort, how well this senior class in particular is represented, and sometimes you just run into a buzzsaw, and that was Napoleon today.
That's what I said. They just beat us today. And plain and simple, they beat us. They were the better team, and at the end of the day, it's all you can do. You tip your hat to them and say they were better, they beat us. But when you want to talk about our seniors, we had 7 seniors that were incredible. And that's why I told them out there. I said, we started winter workouts in 1st of November, and I said there wasn't one day that I didn't enjoy coming and working with them. They were tremendous. They say, you know what, sometimes life punches you in the gut. And I said, tomorrow you'll wake up and we learn and we grow and you get stronger, but it's about life has adversities, and it's now how do we respond to them.
Yeah, Coach, and you talked about your seniors and that they're going to realize at some point they did have a great year. Conference champs once again. They get to the district finals, 20-win season. You name it. You're never prepared for that last day, but what's your message now to the younger guys, the guys that get to come back next year, that get to wear the uniform at least one more season? Yeah. What's your message here today?
Yeah, and you're exactly right on the season. So I said, the expectations here at this program are high. And making it to the regionals is an expectation. And when you don't, everyone thinks, what happened? But, we had a great season.
You did.
Like you just said, we won 20 games. We won the league. The seniors were unreal. What's great now is what I told him is now we just roll right into Acme baseball. So now we take the younger guys and said we go back to work on Tuesday, and now we get another month and a half to get better with next year's team.
It's a mindset here. I've asked so many of your seniors, and by the way, folks, again, what Coach has done for us in particular at DCTV, me specifically, allowing me at practice, allowing me access to the players, allowing the opportunity not just to do a 2 or 3 quick pregame question interview, but to actually dig in and get to know some of these youngsters. It's just been exceptionally appreciated on our part. But they all say the same thing. There's a difference at Defiance because you keep it going year-round. How often do you see at other schools, maybe you get one good athletic class or maybe a couple, but then when those seniors graduate, everything falls off the table. You have built a program, a system, not just a team at Defiance, and it shows.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Obviously, we're proud of what we have going here. We're proud of our former teams, our former players, and it really is a special program.
So what do you say here? You give them some time to obviously decompress, I guess, so to speak, but like you said, with the exception of a handful of them, you just transition now into more baseball.
We just transition into more baseball and work on getting better and see what we can do next year.
And, Coach, just one thing. Of course, Coach Sprague worked with you a long time, of course, with Tommy Held and so forth. But I noticed both of you mentioned Acme baseball. And you guys understand the importance of getting guys reps in the summer. How important has the Acme program been to Defiance success over the years?
If we had to rank top 3, most important things, Acme would be 1 or 2 of what we do because you can play 30 games with your team for next year. And it just builds the camaraderie, the team, it keeps it going. So Acme has been enormous for us. I think being able to play more games as a team, see how kids grow. You don't have as many question marks on that first practice in February because we've watched them all through June and July.
Yeah, it's really your spring training.
It really is. It's been huge for us.
Coach, 20 wins, conference champs, again, just not only great baseball players, but great representatives of Defiance High School and really the community for that much. Appreciate you, for a guy that's been drinking out of a fire hose, still not quite 1 year into it, how much help you have been.
Thank you.
Looking forward to covering your program again
Absolutely.
next year.
We appreciate what you guys do. Kids love it, so thank you.
Hey, thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Congrats on a great season.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to take one last time out. When we come back, we're going to put a blue and gray bow on our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back to put a blue and gray bow on the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. You can hear that wind whipping up even at the end of this afternoon's contest. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure that you could have had a tornado blowing in from center field, and Napoleon still would have found a way to win this afternoon as they 10-run rule the top seed Defiance by a final of 13-3. They advance to next week's regional semifinals. Scoop, one last thought as we kind of put a cap on things here, but what a tremendous season. I have finally had the chance to get outside of the Toledo area because that's where obviously I live, and most of my experience over the last 6 to 7 seasons has been the NLL, obviously the City League, some of the other smaller leagues in that area. But I was told that Northwest Ohio has some of the best high school baseball in the state, and that goes going down south to the Columbus and even the Cincinnati area. And after a season of watching it, I am a firm believer in it.
Well, when I promise you there's going to be great baseball, not just in Northwest Ohio, but especially in Defiance, I knew that was a safe thing to say because Defiance has been that good for so long, and another very successful season. It comes to a very disappointing end and really kind of out of fashion because, both these teams, whichever team is going to win today, has a good chance of really making some noise at the next level. But Napoleon, I don't think anybody saw this score coming. No. But again, Napoleon, they just are clicking on every cylinder, and Defiance just kind of running to a buzzsaw at the wrong time. But Defiance, remember, beat these guys in regular season by a run. We kind of expected that same type of game. One team winning by a run. Who was going to be, we didn't know. But Napoleon made no doubt who the better team was here today. And we wish them well heading into next week's regional at Bowling Green.
Whoever comes out of the top half of that bracket, you have got to think, especially with the way Napoleon is playing right now, they are going to be the heavy favorite. But there's a reason you play the game on the field and not on paper. You never know. Scoop, appreciate you throwing on the headsets. It's been kind of an inaugural season here, but I knew I wanted you to have a headset this season. Appreciate you joining us all year long.
It's been so much fun.
Big thank you also going out to our crew, as always. So many people that do so much work behind the scenes that you never see. As a matter of fact, we probably should get some graphics and start scrolling our crew over the course of the season. But today it was Tristan, Will, and Ryan doing a fantastic job getting here 2 hours before first pitch. Also want to thank Alan Gladeau and the rest of his staff here at Archibald. They couldn't have rolled out the red carpet and been any better hosts for us. Also want to thank our sponsors all season long, our underwriters. Folks, if you appreciate what we do, then walk through those businesses' doors, patronize those businesses, spend some money with them, but also let them know how much you appreciate them supporting us in bringing you the best high school area coverage in this part of the state. Thanking you, the fan, one last time for tuning in. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot. Final score, Napoleon over Defiance, 13-3. That's it for the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. That's it for our broadcasts this season. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.